What's up, Fins Faithful? How you guys doing? Welcome to this trade deadline frenzy special. We are here live with you. The trade deadline is 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do our best, me and Lo-Fi, to take you up with all the breaking and latest news. The Dolphins, what moves will they make? And honestly, nobody really knows what's about to happen. Dolphins could make a splash, or they could just stay quiet and surprise everybody. There's talk, there's tension. You can feel the buzz around the team right now, whether it's positive or negative. Are they about to go all in on the deadline and sell? Either way, buckle up because this could get interesting. As we're going to try our best, Lo-Fi, right, to take you up to the deadline and come in the chat and join us. Let us know if anything breaks. We got a breaking news bell here if any trades break. So join us. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Support the channel. We're going to take you on this vibe. Lo-Fi, you ready?
Ready. Great intro. I love the intro. Almost want to play that again. Get all jacked up, ready to go.
Ready to go? All right. All right. So, there's a lot of rumors going around. Rick, shout out loud. We got Bobby Finch talking the house. We got Magic City Don Kenny. Koso, what's up, guys? We appreciate you hopping on and joining us. All right. So let's get into some of the news. Obviously, we know the names. Jaylen Phillips was traded yesterday for a third-round pick. I thought it was a fair deal. Let's get your thoughts on that, Lo-Fi, first. I thought it was a good deal for both teams. I thought it was the best they could get. I went on record saying if you could get a third-round pick for Jaylen Phillips, if you were not going to re-sign him, okay, I know everybody says the compensatory system, but you got the best you could. You get to pick this year in 26, not 27, and you got to be careful with the compensatory system. We saw it with Christian Wilkins. Okay, we were counting on a third. There's injuries. It's a strange formula. It's very complicated. If you sign player A and B and C, your pick goes down to a fourth. Just like Javon Holland, we're not going to get a third, I think, or a fourth one because of some of the players we signed. Your thoughts on the Jaylen Phillips trade first, and you think it was good value?
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think that's what we're all hoping for. We got what we're hoping for. So, pretty much we bought.
Yes.
We pretty much bought a third rounder. Unfortunately, it's not the Jets' third rounder. That would have been really nice to have, but we did get a third rounder for him. It's a fair deal. Greer put us in a cap hell, so it's one of those players we're going to have to say goodbye to, unfortunately. I mean, he's one of the guys you wish you could keep in the locker room. He's kind of like the sealer, kind of your lunch pail guy. He's there to play. He's there to win. He's going to give everything you got. I'm very happy that he got to go to Vic. Vic is a phenomenal coach. Obviously, it shows the value of what Jaylen Phillips was to our locker room and our team because he vouched for Jaylen Phillips. So hopefully he sends us some nice postcards of what it looks like to play the playoffs this year, and hopefully he has a long career because it hasn't been very good with us as far as injuries. But when he's on the field, we definitely feel him out there. So good luck to Jaylen Phillips.
Yeah, and you got to think Vic Fangio's behind this. He knows him well. He likes the player, and I hope he's a great kid. Works really hard. Tough breaks from in college with the concussions and the injuries in the NFL, but I hope the kid gets a ring there with Philly. He deserves it. He's a really class act. So we wish the best to Jaylen Phillips. But is that just a start, Lo-Fi? I mean, that's the question. Let's go through some rumors I read on Twitter, guys, in the chat. If you want to, hop in, guys, let us know if anything breaks. We'll do our best to look, but let us know if anything breaks with the Dolphins or any other trades. We'll keep you track of it. All right, let's go look at some. I want to take a look at some rumors. Ricky Scoops, who's as plugged in as anybody. He had the Jalen Ramsey stuff. He had the Jonnu Smith stuff. I mean, he's as plugged in as anybody in the league. As far as seems like with the Dolphins, right? All right, so let's go through some. First thing he had here was the Cowboys have an offer to the Dolphins for Minkah Fitzpatrick. That would be the Cowboys' backup plan if they can't get a pass rusher. What do you think? What do you think the fair value is for Minkah, and do you think he gets moved today?
I mean, I would say print it. I mean, that's a match made in heaven for the Cowboys. You got maybe not the best of Minkah's years, but he's still, towards the top of the chart as far as safeties. again, it's one of those cap situations for us, and then it's one of those things. Minkah's been gone before. Did he ever want to come back? So I think that one, if I was to print any of them, that's the one I would print because Dallas safety, huge need, and Minkah brings good value, and I think it fits probably the culture of Dallas as well. So I would hope that that trade happens today.
Yeah, the thing with Minkah is people say, "Oh, you just acquired him." He was a guy. Lofa, I said in the beginning of the season, I did a show, and they were like, "Who are somebody who's gonna you have high expectation on? It's gonna disappoint." I go, Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's not the same player you brought in here when you drafted him. He's not the same player in his prime in Pittsburgh. He's been okay, but he's been good enough where a team will need him. And I think he's guaranteed. If I'm not correct, if anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, his guaranteed money ends this year. This is a clear rebuild, right? Everybody was talking about. Let's set that straight. Everybody was talking about that before the season started. This is a soft reset. No, this is a tear it up to the ground, full rebuild. And this team's going to be younger next year. Even more than this year, they're loading up on draft capital, not only to draft players, but to attract candidates, especially the general manager candidates. Those guys want draft capital more than they want players. They want their own guys. So Minkah Fitzpatrick is a guy, if you give me a third-round pick, conditional third.
I say yes to a day two for sure.
A day two. I'd even go a number 4 and throw in something, right? Like I'd probably go a number 4, and you throw in a player or a 6th-round pick or something like that. But I think you can get a team to bite on a 3 or 4. Do you?
I mean, yes.
What's your line?
I think he's well. I'm okay with 3 or 4 because I'm in just the mindset of we need to rebuild. We can rent him one more year if we really wanted to, but I don't really value the safety position that much. What do we got? 35 tackles out of Minkah this year. I mean, we got 1 interception, a couple pass breakups. I mean, he's and think about it. He still grades towards the top of the NFL, and that's the production that you get in the safety because he's not a guy. If you heard the rumors coming out of why we got him from the Steelers, it seemed to be he was starting to freelance a little bit, starting to complain about playing in the box too much. And I start hearing those kind of rumors. I'm kind of like, oh, do I really want you? Because guess what? Obviously, the running game didn't play very well for us. And does someone like Minkah want to come up and make those big hits? I don't see him playing physical football out there. I don't see him making big hits. The only person on our team that seems to really have that leadership drive is going to be Brooks, where he's trying to get it done. You know what I mean? You could see the effort. Whether he's tackling a guy five yards down the field, 10 yards down the field, or every once in a while he gets a splash play and get someone behind the line. I don't see a lot of that from Minkah. I mean, I don't see the value of keeping him and renting him another year. If he screamed leadership, I'm like, all right, we need some of that. But he just seems like he's biding his time, kind of hoping for this exact scenario that there's going to be a contender out there that we're going to be able to trade him to. And is it going to be a problem next year? Is he going to start pounding the table? Is he going to start saying, hey, I don't want to be here for a rebuild. I'm at the end of my career. I'm not at the beginning of my career. So at that point, when you start thinking that way, maybe even a 4th, you're trying to create a new culture. So when you're trying to focus on culture change, now you have to have players fit that culture. And does Minkah fit? It's a maybe.
Yeah, and it started off weird. Remember, he didn't talk to media for a while until he got his new contract. He just never seemed comfortable. He was a guy I thought we were going to be a little bit disappointed in, like you said. Like I said, I think it's a smart move to move off him. I think this team can free up a lot of money, just hard money, in this trade deadline. I think Rasul Douglas is a no-brainer. I think Bradley Chubb's a no-brainer. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick's a no-brainer. The Dallas Cowboys are a team to watch, with Minkah and with Chubb. And speaking of Chubb, here's the other Ricky had. Sounds like the Dolphins will be moving Chubb today. Cowboys and 49ers are most likely destinations. Both teams have reached out to the Bengals about Trey Hendrickson. So And we know the Jerry Jones, they had a deal. They acquired Logan Wilson from the Bengals, the linebacker, earlier today. Looks like they have more moves on the table. Bradley Chubb looks like he's definitely going to be moved today. You agree, Lo-Fi?
Yeah, let's play with those are the two ones. Which one do we think Chubb's going to go to? I want to say if I was to get first pick on that one, it's going to be maybe funny because I'll pick 49ers. I'll tell you why. They seem to have injury bugs. Maybe it's a West Coast thing. They seem to like injured players a lot too. So I'm going to say Chubb to 49ers, even though I think Cowboys might be a better fit.
Yeah, they do. But do the Cowboys? They're 3-5 now. So after that loss last night to the Cardinals, do you think it makes sense for that loss affects what the Cowboys are going to do? They got Logan Wilson, or are they just going to try to load up and kind of load up on fix that defense?
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, the contract has an out, so Cowboys can rent him. Ooh. I think Chubb showed us that he's able to restructure contracts. He's willing to work with a team. But yeah, 3-5 does make that an interesting conversation. Are you thinking you got the big playoff push? I mean, sometimes it might be the same scenario that Greer was in, where the head coach GM is feeling some pressure. So Jones is one of those guys that owner's going to jump on you hard when you're not winning. So maybe they're going to pull the trigger just to try and get the owner off their back, if you know what I mean. To say, hey, you know what, we're bringing in the talent. We're bringing in guys to help us win, to turn this around. Not sure if that's the situation in Cowboys land, but we know winning is a very important thing in Cowboys land. So does Chubb help you win? Does Chubb help you get back into the race? I mean, yes.
That's why, I don't know if it makes sense for them. I mean, again, Logan Wilson, they gave up like a 7th-round pick. I like Logan Wilson, the linebacker, come out of the draft, actually. And Chubb, what is he going to get? A 5th? A 6th? At best? I think that's what Bradley Chubb fetches you. So they're not giving up huge, draft pick, capital, but, and Jerry Jones doesn't mind them spending the money. So it might be, let's just give it a shot. We got to replace Micah Parsons. I could see that, but I kind of lean with you on the 49ers. I just feel that's a fit. Even though the Cowboys fits like a glove for Chubb, but what do you think the return would be for Chubb? Day 3 pick?
Yeah, I would guess. Yeah, you're getting a 5th rounder at would probably be our best scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, who's going to rush the passer for us? No, I mean, not that. Honestly, losing is winning now with the Dolphins because they picked. The one thing is, Lo-Fi, they picked a direction, right? Now, before we get in, they picked a direction. I like that. It's clear Mr. Ross picked a direction. He's given the green light to Champ Kelly, it seems like, to make some moves, as where Chris Greer was opposed to making moves, obviously. And, we had Big O on last night, and guys, check out that Big O episode. He dropped a lot of knowledge. But, Ross is clearly looking to get a high draft pick to start this rebuild. And the more draft capital you can get, I would take, because I mentioned to you earlier, this is going to be, you're gaining draft capital, guys, to attract the next GM. Whether it's a 5th, whether it's 6th, when they look and they say, we have 11 draft picks, it just looks better, right? And you're going to free up money, but I don't know who the heck's going to rush the passer for this team. You know what I mean, Lo-Fi? Who is it? I don't know what the latest on Chop is with the concussion, but who would we line up with?
I mean, I guess I might sound a little different. I'm excited about that, actually. I know what it looks like when Chubb's there. I know what it looks like when Jalen's there. Even though they both miss a lot of time, I already have my expectations set for them. Neither of them are really beating it this year. I mean, but they're coming off of major injuries. Jaylen had 2 of them. I mean, Chubb's had them. So, this could have been the one that brought them, made them lose that step, as they say.
Absolutely.
And so when you look at it, what can Cameron Good do? What does Chop look like full time? He came in late last year, kind of got us excited. is that just a fresh legs and speed thing? Because it didn't quite pan out early this year where everybody else has fresh legs too. He hasn't really exactly been as effective. When you watch Chop, I'm thinking like they're looking like, oh, here's our next Cameron Wake. It seems like everybody's like, like Tua, here's our next Drew Brees. They keep on trying to relive all their mistakes or people that we've missed in the past. Chop, can he be a Cameron Wake? Because that seems to be kind of the mold that he kind of fits into, and his technique on just pure speed rush. So I'm excited to see what they can do, see what these guys behind us can do.
Yeah,
I actually nerd out a little bit more if these guys.
Michael has a question. How many picks do teams get each year? Well, there's 7 rounds, so teams are allocated 1 pick in each round. But, however, you can trade them, so you can have as many or little, as picks as you want. You can have multiple picks in each round if you were able to do that. Yeah, but on the base, every team, there's 7 rounds in the NFL draft. Every team gets 1 pick in each round, and there's a compensatory formula based on free agency lose and playing time, and those are at the end. They'll start at the end of the 3rd round all the way through the 7th. Tell Sarni trade me his Mahomes downtown. Shout out Ghost from Adam Gase from the Dive Bar podcast. Yeah, Sarni pulled a great card, man. That was a great one. I'll let Sarni know. I'll DM Sarni. Who's that word?
I gotta say, Cosa Nostra 72. It's just fun to say it. What a great name.
Cosa Nostra. Yeah. The Italian, huh? All right. So here's the interesting one. We talked about Chubb. We talked about Phillips. Those are the ones, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Those are the ones that we expect could happen, right? Those are not the big. But then it gets to the more interesting ones, right? And the most interesting one to me is Jaylen Waddle.
Oh, yeah. Let's start with you on that one.
Yeah, I went hard last night on it.
You're trying to get it. I don't know why all the pushback. I mean, everything. Let's break things. Let's break the world down real quick. Everything's possible. Yeah. Anything's possible. Just how probable.
All right. So Jordan Schultz tweeted on the bottom. You can't see it. The Broncos and the Seahawks are teams he's catching an eye to make a splash. Ricky responded. Ricky Scoops. I believe the Broncos' holy crap move would be trading for Waddle. Can Penguins handle the high altitude? All right, so I like that line. I had an argument last night with Big O and Jason, and shout out, that show was fantastic, by the way. And stop me plugging the show. And shout out to over 200 people we have in here on YouTube and X. Guys, make sure you hit the like. Let's get some likes in here. We are live with you on the trade deadline. This is the Miami Dolphins trade deadline frenzy. We'll sound the bell when the trade happens. We're going to try our best to take you up to the 4 p.m. deadline. Make sure you guys come over to YouTube, join the chat. We might even have a part of the show where we ask you guys if you guys want to hop on with us and go live, and we'll answer your questions in the chat. All right,
hey, George, why do you think you got so much pushback on just getting a hypothetical or a possibility? I mean, we traded for Hill with 1st-round draft pick. We used a 1 for Bradley Chubb. Right. I mean, we used a 1 for Jalen Ramsey. Are we trying to say
let's get to the base argument here.
Wide receiver?
Yeah. Right. Look, so they're saying it was unrealistic that anybody would offer a 1st-round pick. My point was, if they do, I'm helping Waddle pack his bags. Here's my thing on it, right? Love Jaylen. Love the talent. Love the ability. But you know what the bottom line is? He's a 5'10" wide receiver who has a bunch of soft injury issues. I believe he's already 26, maybe even 27. And by the time this team and this franchise is good, because, again, this is a clear rebuild, he's going to be 29, 30. And we saw what happens to speed receivers at 30. He's a guy who's based on purely speed. This guy is not going to age well like a Hines Ward or something like that, right? Like or a big physical receiver who doesn't rely so much on speed. I don't know why I thought of Hines Ward. So in the wide receiver position, their point was, if we draft the quarterback next year, they're going to need, it'll help him develop. No, what's going to help a quarterback, you have to start with the line of scrimmage and protect the quarterback. You can find wide receivers. I like Jalen Ramsey, but if somebody's willing to offer me a 1st-round pick for Jalen Ramsey, I'm doing the deal because, I think this team needs to get a different style of receiver in here. And I love Jalen, and he's entertaining. But how good really is he? How much does he stay healthy? And again, he's 26, 27. He's entering the prime, but a prime for that kind of skill position wide receiver doesn't last very long. And by the time you're good, Lo-Fi, let's say if you do the rebuild right, you're good at 2028. If it goes right, he's going to be 30. I'm doing that deal. Again, I wouldn't give him away. If you offer me a 2 and a 5, I'm not doing it. Has to start with the 1. Your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I see the point that the guys were making on there that what are we going to watch? Like this year, all we have is Waddle and 18 to watch. So I get that part, but I'm with you. I'm looking further ahead.
On my side. Finally, got somebody on my side. That's why I like you, Lo-Fi.
Yeah, if I can, I will. Waddle is more than just a speed receiver. I mean, he's got amazing catch radius for his size. He can get up and get after the ball. I don't like it so much when he tries to play big because that's when he starts getting those soft injuries. But, obviously he plays with a lot of heart, a lot of energy. And he's one of those guys that is legitimately either a 1A, 1B in this league. And those aren't too easy to find. So there's reasons to keep him. But I'll break it down a little further. Is it really worth keeping? It really turns into who's going to be the quarterback of the future. Because when you look at quarterbacks, you see how, let's look at the design of the Dolphins. Why do we have a bunch of shifty, fast receivers? Well, you typically have 2 types of quarterbacks. One that sees separation, which is Tua. It's timing separation. So these guys got to run 10 yards, make his in or out. It's all designed. So the Hills, the Waddles, all these little guys can turn on a dime and be where they're supposed to be at. So when Tua looks like he's doing some magic and throwing things early, that he's trusting his receiver is going to be where they're going to be. And that's where something like Waddle's value, you can't get rid of him in regards as we need that for Tua. If that's what, unfortunately, Ross is thinking, we're going to do another year of Tua, then Waddle becomes very important because getting those type of guys that if you go back to Fitzpatrick, Devontae Parker was a great fit. What was Devontae Parker known for? Sideline toe tapping catches was his bread and butter. Who can throw that pass? Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who can throw it to a part on the body? That's kind of like your Brett Favre, your Ryan Fitzpatrick. Doesn't work for Tua. Devontae Parker got shipped out immediately. Just actually got immediately because he doesn't see the field that way. So Waddle has huge value for Tua, just like Hill has huge value for Tua. We can see just dropping Hill off on the production that we lost.
Oh, we got breaking news.
Oh, we got something?
Jets are trading Sauce Gardner to the Colts. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. That's a good move for the Colts. What do you think about that, Lo-Fi? Sauce Gardner traded to the Colts. We don't have the compensation. I'm working on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Dolphins news, but Colts show you what good management and what you can do when you got the right pieces and you can fit pieces together. Daniel Jones, anybody saw that coming? Anybody saw that he was going to be all of a sudden commanding a team? I mean, he's starting to show some of the things that he did with the Giants, but is this Colts team able to work through some of the things that deficiencies that Daniel Jones got? But yeah, I mean, Colts are an exciting brand this year. So turnarounds, the optimism part, yeah, it can happen quick. And for us, I think it's just you get the quarterback right. It's the easiest road to turning something around. You see what happens. It can attract everything you need. I mean, if we had Herbert, do we have Harbaugh? I mean, we would be done and not talking about anything for a long time. You have the right quarterback. All of a sudden, your GMs are going to show up. All of a sudden, your coaches are going to show up because they're like, yeah, he has what's that word? It.
Wow, I'm going to pull up the compensation for Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I think Jacoby Myers went a little bit earlier too.
You're going to be wow. They got a ton for they got a ton for Sauce. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. It's the live stream. Stay with us, guys. we're live here. But Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts. Man, let me get there. Compensation. So, what were you saying about the rebuild? While I'm looking for that, how do you want them to handle kind of the process in hiring? Do you want them to clearly let the GM candidate know that, okay, McDaniel, it's your choice on McDaniel?
I mean, what it kind of seems to be is with the hand they're showing us now is Champ Kelly to McDaniels are running it back next year. That's what it looks like they're doing. Which, if you try and look at towards 2027, I mean, you can't get out from Tua. I mean, you could have that clean slate at 2027. It'd be a lot less harder, not such a hard pill for Ross to swallow, if you know what I mean. Because, we're talking $100 million for Tua and whatnot. So maybe he's looking even further out. But as far as rebuild, I mean, there's two ways to really go about it. Either you're going to get the right GM who can get your right quarterback and coach, or you can go about the coach can attract the right GM. They all kind of know who they want. They all work with each other.
Yeah, Big O had some interesting topics.
Or you draft them.
Yeah.
Or draft them.
Here's the news. Colts are trading 2 first-round picks to the Jets for cornerback Sauce Gardner. Hefty price. Hefty price, man. They're going all in the Colts. Wow.
I think I had Ed Dodds on my list of people to look at for.
Can we forget about that?
I don't know if I trust him.
I don't know. I'm not as big on Ed Dodds as the rest. I love Agnew. I love Alexander from the Chargers. I want a guy here. Wow, but 2 first-round picks. Chat, what do you think of that? Yeah, solid. I just saw that, man. That is crazy news. Wow, and he hasn't been as good. I think he's an overrated player. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't have paid that, but that's why they get paid the big bucks. I mean,
here's the
guess
thing.
it's an all-in move by them, huh?
Hey, does this help? If they do trade Waddle, they're at least asking for a first. Could this help?
True that, yeah.
Shout out Bobby Finstock. What's up, brother? Colts are trading 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. Yeah, crazy. Everybody, it's insane. I trade that for Sauce. Here's what I want. You mentioned Ed Dobbs. When we're talking about the GM names, right? I want a guy with a scouting background, right? And if you're going to get somebody like Mike Greenberg from the Bucs, who's more of that cap money guy, then he's got to bring in a personnel guy under him. But I want a guy. I like Agnew. He's got a little Ozzie Newsome for me in him, a little bit. He just not only because he looks like him, but he's got a little bit of that. He's had multiple roles. He has a pure scouting background. This guy was a first-round pick. He was a player. I like players in those positions. Alexander as well. I got to go through all the list. The young guy from the Eagles. Ian Cunningham, another name. And we're going to have a show, by the way, of all the candidates we're going to have.
Yeah, Cap for Life turned me on to Alonzo Highsmith, and I guess he did reach out and say he's interested in it. So I looked at a little bit of
I think there's better candidates. Him and then the whole Louis Riddick thing, I'm not into it. Like
when you get someone like
we got.
Oh shoot, we got another one.
Are you guys hearing the bell? Or do you guys like that or hear it? Or is it I'm crazy? Yeah. Saints are sending Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks. That takes if Waddle was interested, if the Seahawks were interested in Waddle, that takes them out of the market. But that's a good move. I like Shaheed. He's a nice player. What's the compensation for Shaheed on that? What do you think of that, Shaheed to the Seahawks? And that's one of the teams Jordan Schultz mentioned that he's watching today for potential holy crap moves. Shaheed to the Seahawks. That'll help them. That'll help Sam Darnold and them. Sam Darnold had a heck of a game the last game for the Seahawks. Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks, they'll fight. Does it move the needle for you?
Yeah. I mean, just hearing the word Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, I think I'm in an alternate universe. Like, who are these guys playing this well? I mean, we're getting them help. We're going all in with some of these quarterbacks that we never expected to. push themselves this far into playoff consideration.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the compensation update here for Shaheed. But how does that affect Waddle market, if anything? I mean, look, I would say it's unlikely they trade Waddle. And if you look at it, man, I think it's unlikely they trade Jaylen Waddle. But here's another thing about the Jets trade I just thought of. Their draft capital, they're going to be in the quarterback market like us probably. And they're going to be picking in the top 5. Especially now losing Sauce Gardner. They're loaded with draft capital.
Yeah, I think
we got to get some more draft. So we got to match that, right? We got to match.
I think we're punting to 2027 is what it looks like.
You think 2027 is a quarterback year 2 for them?
Yes, I think rumors so
far quarterback draft, because here's the problem with the what is it, the kids getting paid in college now. I'm losing my mind what the word is. Anyways, but now the kids getting paid in college, who's coming out? It's not as obvious. Like Sellers, normally I would think he'd come out, but why not? You can take another year of development, make a couple $1 million, stay in school. So who's coming out? It looks like the Mendoza kid, the local, the Cuban Missile, right? You got Mendoza. You got. I'm really liking Ty Simpson at Alabama. The more I'm, Lo-Fi, we're gonna have big draft stuff here in this channel. It's my passion, and I'm liking Ty Simpson when I see it. There's a little something to that kid that it's another Alabama quarterback. But again, if you're picking the top 5, you have to be convicted on a guy. But you look at the Jets capital now. I'm trying to look up their updated draft capital, but we gotta. If we're in that market, we might have to make some moves, Lo-Fi.
Unfortunately, we don't have outside of Waddle, we can't get another first rounder with anybody on our team.
And by the way, A-Chain, no chance, not trading Gardner. So you know what I mean?
Yes, it's your first anyways. You're gonna need 2 firsts. Yeah, where you need anyways.
Two firsts. We'll talk. We'll meet at the table. Anything less than that, oh, Bobby, just text me. There should be a sound effect on StreamYard for the bell. Bobby, I like to do it. I'll look for it though. I appreciate it. Love you, Bobby. Anyways, what were we talking about? Yeah, so why do you think they're doing 27? Because the quarterback class is better?
It's looking that way. I mean, like you said, we don't really know until they start declaring, but a lot of those analysts are saying a lot of these guys have a lot of reasons to stay another year. So I think we might have a thin class. But since you don't know, it's probably okay to try and load up as if they're going to declare, because, boy, it would stink if the guy you have targeted end up declaring. And then you're like, oops, I don't have the capital to move anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends what's going to happen. Like, we're going to be bad. We're going to look and see Tua. Here's my question. It's very clear they have a direction. I think Ross realizes, okay, we're not going anywhere. So let's try to get the best draft pick possible. Let's do what we couldn't do in 2020 with the Joe Burrow thing. So, and the easy move was to put in Josh Rosen. When do you think they consider, and how does that look like? If Tua is just playing okay, because you can't make the argument. Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson is not better than Tua Tagovailoa. So you can't look somebody straight in the face without saying, hey, we're clearly tanking. Is Tua just got to play bad or not good enough? Or is there a little bit of an injury that pops up? When do we start thinking about looking at what, let's say, a Quinn Ewers has? Or as Big O likes to say, the MILF monster, Zach Wilson.
Yeah. For me, I already would have been doing it. 2-7. I guess I'll be doing it next week. Looks like if anything's going to happen, it probably would be after, a bye week or something like that. That's probably our next possible news cycle of either coach, quarterback change. I'm a big proponent on evaluate talent that you have on there. You're moving forward in another direction. Tua, by far, is the best quarterback on the team, but it's a 2-7 team. So that tells you our ceiling's not too high right now. He needs a lot of things that we can't give him right now to succeed. And he seems to be, like a lot of people saying, he's regressing, and he's starting to get I guess we'll call him Waddle feet. He's got the penguin feet. He's not setting his base very well, and he's kind of getting a little bit off of being 2-second Tua. That seems to be the only thing working for us right now, is when McD and Tua get into that little 2-second groove, and it really takes the right play call and Tua getting that ball out for that to even work. And then when it's not working, obviously it looks pretty bad.
Yeah. No, and we talked about Tua. We've talked about all the things. And I honestly think Big O said last, he's not comfortable, or they haven't put him in the best environment. That all sounds good, but he's clearly not the same player. He's clearly that, I wonder the injuries, the thumb, the hip. I just think this guy's an old 27, right? Like, I think that, the significance of that hip injury for him to come back eventually is going to slow him down. They said it when he was coming out. I think he knows, the organization knows that his time here is done. Here's the question. Do you think there's a chance to ask out? Like, could he ask out? Because you sense the tension between Mike and Tua, who surprisingly, because they were like in this ultimate love marriage relationship. Mike came in to rebuild him, and he did it. And you could say whether it was Mike or more Tua or whatever. But now you see it all started when the Tom Pelissero reports came out that, hey, Mike has a quarterback who has limitations, who can't be touched, who can't take off, who can't do a quarterback sneak. What do you think that was coming from? That was already the start of Mike trying to separate himself. And did you hear Big O's comments last night on what he said? It's quite the opposite. Chris Greer, Ross loves Greer. So he kind of like just ripped the Band-Aid off and gave him the one-shot kill and got him out of here and paid him. He left Mike McDaniel here on the sinking ship, kind of to die by 1,000 paper cuts, like, right? What do you think of that theory that he had? Actually, letting Greer go was actually him caring more about Greer. And he basically said Tua and McDaniel are gone next year. Which, look, I go back and forth, but if you look at it, Ross is saying all the right things about Mike McDaniel publicly. We believe in him, we love him, we think we want this guy to be the guy and work out, but it all depends how the season goes. Well, he's given the green light, Lo-Fi, to trade a lot of good players that are going to make you lose games. So it's his words versus actions are not meeting up. I think he knows already. I think McDaniel's gone. What do you think?
Yeah. When you're talking about cleaning house, I don't know if Ross quite understands it. So he's the wild card in this. He seems like, a lot of people say, he does a lot of half measures. He seems to tend towards certain type of personalities. For example, Flores was quite an alpha, and that didn't play very well in the office. Didn't play on that. Champ Kelly, as far as I can read so far, kind of reminds me of Greer almost, as far as mannerisms and whatnot. In the sane world, I would assume we're cleaning house as the NFL kind of defines it. That's your general manager, your head coach, and most likely your starting quarterback.
Now, two things. I think I'm not opposed to this because you said they might push it down to 27 for the quarterback draft. We'll see about that, right? That's yet to be determined. But I don't think you can bring a young quarterback to be draft high with Tua. I think Tua is too much of a distraction. He says things. He brings a lot with him. I think I'm not opposed to just taking the cap hit, rip the Band-Aid off post June 1st, and let's eat it. We're going to be younger next year. We're not looking to win. We're going to be a young team with a lot of draft picks. Let's do like Denver did with Russell Wilson. Even though it's going to be a record amount, his dead cap hit in pre-June 1st is $99 million. That's got to be there, right? Like, if they do that. I'm not opposed to it. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it either. We haven't really got into what free agent quarterbacks are out there. We don't necessarily have to draft a quarterback next year if we miss on this year. we still needed, it would have been great to have someone like a Tyler Warren for the next quarterback. It would have helped out Tua tremendously. There's still some pieces we need for the next quarterback. Obviously trenches might be something we can work on. So it's not going to be a wasted year for the next quarterback, but think about it. Even someone like Daniel Jones is a free agent next year. Who's on that list next year that, might be that veteran you would want in your locker room. So when you do bring in your quarterback, say it's 2027, that can help facilitate the transition. Because I don't think Tua is that guy. You wouldn't mind. Tua would mind, I think, because of his ego and the way he's presented himself. He's not going to be the guy that's going to be helping anybody take over the franchise. He sees himself a whole nother way. He is a franchise. He's destined for the Hall of Fame. But I got a great chat question.
Okay, go for it. Let's get involved here. We got over 60 people here watching on X and YouTube. Come on over, join the chat. We might even let you guys hop on, join us, give us your questions. We're here on the trade deadline. Make sure you guys drop the like and subscribe, help support us. Get some more likes in here. Go ahead, Lo-Fi, give me your chat question.
Which is worse, Tua's play on the field or Tua behind the microphone?
I like that one. Should we run a poll for that?
It's probably worthy because I honestly don't know where everybody would go with that one.
I wonder if we should run a poll of would you trade Waddle for a first round pick? Yes or no? I'd be curious with that. But that's interesting. Chat, is Tua's, which is worse, Tua's off the field press conferences and his words or on the play? Costa says mouthy Tua. What do you think, Lo-Fi? Boy, I tell you what doesn't sit well with me more is off the field Tua, the press conference Tua. I just think, guys, I think he lacks social awareness. I don't think he understands. He's like, you know what's happened is you put leaders like McDaniel and Tua, you put them in leadership positions where you're seeing they're not, right? It's not what you say, it's how you carry yourself, the fabric of a leader of a man. Neither one of them, those guys. I just Lo-Fi, his social awareness is off the charts bad.
Yes.
I mean, it's just some of the things he says. I'm thinking he in BS stuff he doesn't listen to. I don't listen to anything off the field. BS. All these players do. Come on, you listen to all that stuff. Your wife will tell you, "Yeah, I'm going home to my wife and kids." So is a lot of people. Doesn't mean you can't hear it. You know what I mean? So and they have a great PR lady there. She lets everybody know what's going on. Or they said too many head injuries. That's why. Yeah, chat. What is it off the field Tua or on the field Tua? I'm constantly checking the timeline to see if we have any more trades, whether it's the Dolphins or across the league. Any surprise, guys? You think you can get traded for the Dolphins? Like, what about Rasul Douglas, guys? Lo-Fi. That's an interesting name. I know you might not get much for him, but you can get something. I think he's played really, really well for them. What do you think about Rasul Douglas?
Do we have him signed for next year, or is he a free agent next year? I think he's a free agent.
I think it was a 1-year deal. I wouldn't mind. He's a guy you don't mind. I won't mind bringing back in a low cost deal, but he'll help a playoff team. Like he's been really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that Calais Campbell situation. He could help another team, but at the same time, you kind of want to, if you can get him on the cheap, you kind of want to lock him up. He'd be a great transition guy. It's a spot you don't necessarily have to go first round in right away, because pretty much we can go BPA going into the draft, really, if you look at it. At least you have, I mean, he's obviously not a top tier guy, but at least you have a decent stopgap guy that can at least keep you competitive, because ultimately you need a product to sell and we got to watch something. So Rasul Douglas, I don't think he's going to give us anything for a trade. And we don't have Chris Greer anymore. So he seems to really love to draft in the 7th round and 6th round, and UDFAs, it seems where he spends all his time at. So I'd like to see his brand of football stay. But if it can help and there is a market for him, I haven't heard of anything on anybody looking at him in particular. But yeah, fire sale is a fire sale. So yes, 100%, I'd be willing to deal him.
Man, I'm looking at the Colts. The Colts received Sauce Gardner, right? The Jets received their 26 and 27 first round picks. You would think this year's going to be a low first, and they got wide receiver A.D. Mitchell, so who was a former second round pick for them. So heck of a deal for the Jets, So and that's a team that's competing with us to kind of for a quarterback and for the high draft pick, and you need chips. You need to bring chips to the table to be able to maneuver. You're not going to be guaranteed the 1 or 2 pick to get the quarterback you want, and you can get it in a situation, like kind of how the Titans were in this year, which they were a team was at the top. They didn't need a quarterback, and they made the trade, or decided they didn't want a quarterback and made the trade, and you got to have the chips to the table, right? So what is our current draft pick capital? I think, we have our first, second, we have 3 threes. So we have our own. We have, who did we trade last year to move? Was it Pittsburgh? We traded up and we got an extra third. Let me look up the Dolphins. Before I speak, maybe somebody in the chat knows or Lo-Fi, let me look up the Miami Dolphins current draft capital. I know what we have, but just where we got it from. So I
know. I think we got 3 threes now, a 1 and 2. I think the only thing we're missing is a 6, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we have. All right, we have a first, a second, 3 threes. Our third, a third from the Texans, a third from the Eagles. Remember, the Eagles had 2 third-round picks. They could have traded us. We didn't get the high one that they got from the Jets for Reddick. That'd be a real high third-round pick. But we got a third-round pick. It's better than a compensatory pick, even though it's going to be a low one. And we have a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 draft picks currently. 8 draft picks currently. We do not have a 6, but we have a first, a second, 3 number 3s, and I love the middle of the draft, by the way. The middle of the draft is a roster building. When you hit there, that's a roster building in depth rounds. 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds, especially that 3rd and 4th. I love the middle of the draft. We have 3, 3, 3. And like if you said, Lo-Fi, we don't have to go to the quarterback this year. You can load up again. Who's buying the groceries, right? That's like
question for you in the chat on that.
Yeah. Question in the chat. Chat, answer all that.
No, I got a question for you, George. Do you see? So what we've been doing in the past, it seems like we end up with the Mike McDaniels. We end up with the kind of the second tier of coaching to get that great GM or that great coach. Does it make any sense to go ahead and limit things and to have everything cleared up for 2027 and then start looking for that big time coach or GM? Or do those type of
it's got to start now. It's got to start now. You have a bunch of the rebuild. I like everybody on the same clock: quarterback, GM, coach. So when it all goes wrong, you get rid of all of them. It's got to start now. You have too much draft capital in this draft. The rebuild starts. Another rebuild, which by the way is the right move. You failed with Greer. Recognize it. Pick a direction and go. And I'll give Ross credit that. Now it's the question: is he going to pick the right guy to pick the groceries? And that's what happened tonight.
I guess the question would be, does that guy exist?
Well, I would say, you don't know if the guy exists yet. Like Bill Zito for the Florida Panthers, the hockey team. I use that all the time. We didn't know who Bill Zito was before Bill Zito. It's up to Stephen Ross to make that hire. He's got to make the right hire. That leads to the domino of decisions. I said all along. That's part of it. So you got to find the right guy. And again, when we did this whole rebuild in 2019, and a rebuild, by the way, is a lazy way of teams who failed to get better, right? It's very easy to trade away players and get draft picks. The hard part is using those lottery tickets and, winning on the scratch off, not just $5 and $2, hitting it like a $10,000 on the scratch off. You got to hit some of those, and we didn't. I agreed with the decision back then, but I said we're going to look back and we're going to realize we had the wrong guy picking the groceries. And that's basically what happened. You got to find now the right guy. It's the most important hire in this franchise in a long time. Is this guy you're hiring? More than the coach. Is this guy you're hiring to lead the organization and make the decisions in the draft and marry it with a coach that's aligned with them and player development. Coaching, our biggest problem too is player development. How many guys you seen go somewhere else and get better? That's another issue, Lo-Fi. Player development. So where do you stand on it?
I look at it, well, I should say it's more of a working thought process. So if you're trying to attract the best, and the first question you're going to ask this candidate that pretty much everybody covets, and he's coming in for an interview, and the first question you got for him is, what do you want to do with McDaniels? Can you evaluate him, and what do you want to do with Tua? Does that guy take that question and be like,
No.
do you know football? Why is this something you're asking me to do? Why has this not already been addressed? Why am I walking in and having to spend the first 2 weeks of my tenure with you looking at Mike McDaniels? That should be addressed before I walk in, because I have the answers and I'm going to give you the answers. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. And he's delusional. Mr. Roth is making a bad decision again if he comes in and thinks you're going to get the best candidate, forcing either not, like you said, I don't even want to have the conversation. You can make the decision. The right guy's not going to want to keep Ross or Tua. You got to let him know that, hey, these guys no longer part of the organization. If you don't want McDaniel, that's fine. We haven't made the move yet, but we'll leave it up to you. But by no means are you attached to any of these guys. You can start clean with a blank canvas. Because if you don't, forget about it. We're going to be sitting here in 3 or 4 years again, and the merry-go-round continues. I always say, we're going to know right away. If they hire a guy and McDaniel's gone and Tua's gone, you got a good candidate. That's why it's so important. Here's the thing. Champ Kelly's trying to build his resume in this trade deadline, but it's not that. He's building the resume for the next guy. He's building the resume for the job for the general manager that's going to take over for him. Champ Kelly's got no shot to keep this. I'd be floored if Champ Kelly was kept. He's there to build his resume, make deals. He can have a little fun at the table, but it's like the Jets or anybody else. You're looking for a new GM. The most attractive thing is going to be the draft capital. That's the most important thing. That, with a blank canvas of a quarterback and a coach, you have a chance now to get the right candidate to the fight. You agree?
And speaking of right candidates, one I've been looking at is Andy Weidel.
Okay.
From the
Tell us a little
Steelers.
what do you like about him?
Extensive. He's got decades of scouting history. So I agree with you on that, George. To sustain a team, you need to build through the draft. So I was kind of looking at who does a lot of that, who has a lot of experience.
He's got over a quarter century of scouting experience, I think. Weidell's been a long time with them. He was with wasn't he with the Patriots?
To that,
I think he was with Philadelphia. I'm looking at. He was with Philadelphia scouting department as assistant director of play.
Yeah, I think it was Philadelphia is where he did his scouting, and then he
worked
came
under Joe Douglas, the former Jets general manager, I believe, Joe Douglas, during 2018. But he's got a lot of scouting experience. That I want to ask the chat too. That I want somebody for me who's got a scouting background. Do you agree with that? Lo-Fi?
I agree 100%.
Yeah, because I don't want somebody here. Good shout out to Kadeem. Good evening. What's up, Lo-Fi? Kadeem. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. Throw your questions in. Come on over to YouTube. Drop your questions in the chat. Go Time. Anybody? That's Go Time from the Go Time Dolphins podcast with his partner Charlie. Go Time. If you want to make an appearance, you can go ahead and pop in if you want. If you want to pop in for a little bit, we're going to be here. We're with you to this ride to the 4 p.m. trade deadline. How you doing so far, Lo-Fi? Time's going quick.
Yeah.
When you're having a good time, the chat's lively, the crowd's live. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you guys are enjoying this. We appreciate it. Make sure you drop the likes. Let's get some more likes on this video. Share it. Send everybody over here. We're going to have you covered on the trade deadline here with the Dolphins. Will they make moves? Will they do Chubb? Will they do Fitzpatrick? Will they do the unthinkable? And could they get what they want for Jaylen Waddle? Because they are listening.
Yeah, I never saw myself actually jumping on, but Greer got me so excited, and you happen to have that link that day, a few days back, and I'm like, oh man, I got a lot to say.
No, and I'm glad you did. Welcome to the Finn's faithful family, Lo-Fi. Not that you weren't already a part of it, but and that's what this podcast is. I like the family atmosphere. Yeah, so we are 1:17, so we're what 2 hours and roughly 40 minutes away from the trade deadline. Sauce Gardner to the Colts for 2 number ones and A.D. Mitchell. Wow. Do you think that helps the value on some of the guys we got?
Yes. I'm waiting for Chubb to give me a chubby. Let's go.
Up to you. Go time if you want to hop on. We can always use another troll. Let me send him a link. Yeah, but any other news? I'm just checking to see if any other news break while I'm doing that. Any questions in the chat? Lo-fi while I'm doing the link for
going back to looking for that experienced guy. So way we've been doing it before is, so now you got a locker room, you're trying to set an atmosphere, that's why you want like a GM that has experience. You want a head coach that has experience, because you're not trying to sell your idea, you're already a sold product. So like McDaniels has to go into the locker room and sell that he's a head coach. I really prefer this go around to settle things down and have a head coach and a GM that it's really not their first merry-go-round. Now it's basically trust the process. Process is already known. The process already exists. And now you just have to buy into the process, where someone like McDaniels has to do two things: sell you the process and have you buy into it. So it's like, oh, here, we're going to do something innovative and fun. And everybody's like, oh, okay, what is it? Where if you have someone like, the Harbaughs are coming, it's like, hey, we're just coming here to win. Trust the process. When you get those type of coaches, I think your road to success can be a lot quicker, a lot clearer, and a lot faster, because at that point, you're just trusting a process. You're not being sold anything.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Besides Rasul Douglas, like, would you take calls on anybody else, like crazy, like Jordan Brooks or Zach Sealer or anything like that? Is everything open to you?
Yes. I mean, Jordan Brooks, he seems to be the leader of the defense. But
I don't think you can get as much as you think for Jordan Brooks, though.
No, that's
one of those things. Like, yeah, I don't think, it looks like the sales line's up with the Dolphins. We got that stick in the garage sale. It's in the ground. Like, I'm surprised nothing's happened yet, but we still got time. Deadlines make deals, right? And we're still over 2.5 hours away from it. Deadlines make deals. I'd listen, and I'm curious for the chat. Would you listen on a Brooks or a Sealer?
Yeah, I think Brooks, I would. I think his contract is in the top 10 on our team. I think
it was just restructured.
It was just restructured. Okay.
Yeah, remember? No, it was restructured to. Let me look it up, to create the cap space. To create, because we're last in cap money right now.
I know.
We didn't have money, so we had to restructure it. Remember when we did Jordan Brooks' contract? Everybody's thinking, "Oh, are we opening him up space to make a deal for somebody?" No, why would we do that? That's dumb.
It was such a bad thing. Think about it. Ramsey asked for more money. We gave it to him, and then he says, "Hey, trade me." Yeah. We could have re-signed people like AVG. What a brand of football that. He was fun to watch. And we picked no, we'll give more money to Ramsey. No, we're going to give more money to Hill. Oh, sure, we're going to make Tua a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And there's all these, you could really do a lot of damage in the NFL if you got a bunch of B players on your team. And we literally sold it for a couple of, which are turning out to be not even B players in some circumstances. Like Tua, he has to come out as an A+ with what he's getting paid for. Our return on investment is not paying off. Waddle, you can argue he's beaten his contractual obligations. Obviously, Hill looks like he was going to try and basically get back on point, and we're going to play pass catch with him this year. But unfortunately, he got injured because he realized he put his foot in his mouth, but it looks like he was coming out to play. And then Ramsey really did us dirty, asked for more money, we gave it to him, and then demanded a trade and got it. That was AVG money right there, gone. We could have had AVG. What a great guy. You're saying who could we have on the defensive end? Well, it didn't need to be Chop if you had AVG. We didn't have to draft him. The guys that we're looking to get rid of now, yeah, I would have been even more excited to get rid of them because I had an AVG still on my team, at a fair value. And obviously he's showing he's producing.
Sonny was plugged. Sonny knew him, his family. I mean, Sonny was in contact. He had sources with AVG, and he's heartbroken on that deal, man. He absolutely loved, AVG. When I'm looking at the Waddle stuff and everybody's talking about the Giants, I just don't see the Giants doing it. I don't know if it makes sense for the Giants because I was reading the rumor. Like, why would the Giants look, what's their record as we got Kadeem coming up here? Kadeem, what's up, man? Welcome to the trade deadline frenzy, man. I hope you like the gig, the setup here. This is our bell if we do any moves, man. How are you doing?
Kadeem. Yeah, I'm good. Both of you. How are you guys?
Good.
Your second time in recent weeks here. What are you thinking, man? Well, first of all, let's get your thoughts on the Phillips deal.
Yeah, I saw it coming. It was I don't like it, but I don't hate it. In an ideal world, if you're having a rebuild, you would want someone like Phillips there. But, due to contract, the injury history, I understood it. I didn't like it, but I understood it. So, yeah, it's one of those.
What did you like about it? Because my take on it, you were going to re-sign him in this offseason, right? Because what didn't you like about it?
Yeah, no. So I like the pick was great. Like, you're not going to get much better than that
because you're not going to get compensatory pick. You're not getting any higher.
Exactly. Yeah. People saying, "Oh, you would have got a third or a fourth in a comp pick." It's like based on what? He wasn't going to get a massive deal if he hit free agency, and then he might get injured. Like everyone thought we'd get a third for Christian Wilkins. How's that looking? So, no, I don't mind that. The only thing I didn't like is that in an ideal world, we would have found a way to keep him. That's all it was. But this isn't an ideal world. You are rebuilding, and good players have to go. So, yeah, listen, it's unfortunate, but this is what happens. Just as I tuned in or joined in, Lo-Fi was saying how the decisions to repay Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard over and over again. Those decisions meant you couldn't keep the likes of Andrew Van Ginkel, which he mentioned, and had they managed, the cap better and didn't pay people multiple times, you probably are able to, give an extension to Jaden Phillips a year early or something like that. So, give me 2 seconds. My son's mom's calling.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. So,
what's up, Pickle Face?
What are you doing? You're mute
Podcasting. Oh, sorry. I'm talking. I'm not.
I want to listen in.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have said that. Michael has a question while we're waiting for Kadeem. Does X still play for the Colts? No, he retired.
That was a surprise one. It was like game 3. I think he checked out on.
He checked out game 3. He played well against us, didn't he?
He's like, oh no, I don't want to see the playoffs. I'm going to retire now.
It's funny when you look at the schedule. You always wonder, oh, this team's going to be good. We didn't have it on our bingo card. The Colts would be this good. The Patriots. So you never know. To be fair to the Dolphins, they lost to some pretty good teams too. PSG, you say Pickle Face.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's kind of a false positive because the team does so bad the next year they get a favorable schedule the next year, so they look better than they really are, and then they go right back into the kind of like us, go right back into the middle of the pack. And Colts might be benefiting maybe from a softer schedule this year, and maybe they're not as good as they look right now.
My point I was making on the Giants thing, I don't think it makes sense for the Giants because they have neighbors. They're not going to win this year. What are they, 2-7? They would be a nice weapon for Dart. But I mean, are we sure? Everybody's so. I always hold off on pronouncing a quarterback, the franchise quarterback, early. I think this league you can actually look decent in the beginning. We kind of mistake that for just because you don't screw up a lot and you make some plays. We mistake that for this guy's going to be the next great quarterback. I think, look, let's wait on Dart. And the Giants, would they let their owner, because you got to think, I mean, is Dable safe next year? Is the GM safe? If they brought them back, I don't know if the Dart draft pick and kind of the hype around him saves their job, but would you let them trade a top 5, potential top 5, top 10 pick I don't think so. So I don't think the Giants would be willing to pay the price. I just don't see the match.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. Your rookie years, we see it time and time again where you get a new quarterback. He has a great rookie season, but just like we saw even with Tua when we came out with our next version of the Wildcat with McDaniels, give it team time, they can figure out where your weaknesses on your quarterback or what your scheme is, and they can make you look really bad the next year. So like Dart, what he's doing today, he's going to try and do tomorrow. Does the NFL have a counter to what he does, or do they see things that he doesn't do well and force him into those things, just like they're doing with us and the Dolphins? And 2 safety high, take away those lanes, make Tua's arm throw, make him throw to the sidelines, and we got a average, below average quarterback at that point. I haven't watched enough Dart to be honest to say, hey, he's had some certain tendencies. Like when I was watching Tua, because that's pretty much, I'm a Dolphins guy, and I spend my time watching the Dolphins, study the Dolphins. That 2023 season, I think we had that conversation. I think with Kadeem actually, where we're talking about where, what, the really good teams aren't going to show you a counter until it's time to show the counter. It's playoff time, so. That's why, unfortunately,
we can't counter.
Yeah,
we don't create a counter at all because we don't have one.
Think about how excited McD was as a head coach. It must have been like Christmas. He has this great idea in his head. He's been holding all this time. He comes out and he shows the whole NFL week 1, all of his tricks out of his bag. And he's like, oh my God, look at this. We just blew up the NFL. Look at us, guys. We look great. And the NFL's like, whoa, yeah, damn, that's going to take some figuring out. And meanwhile, he's like, hey, I got more tricks. Let me pull my rabbit out of my hat. I mean, he literally starts week 1 where everybody, like, the really good teams like the Bills or whatnot, they're just going to play you straight up. They're not going to show you a whole lot. They're just going to show up on the football field. They're going to play some pretty vanilla everything. They're not going to call any kind of fancy stuff because they're waiting to show you what they know when it comes time to show you what they know. You know what I mean? We're like, no, we got something week 1. Watch this.
Yeah, and then it lasted 9 games. The the Broncos game,
it was fun.
That's a great point you make. These teams like Buffalo, all these good teams, the Chiefs, they show you enough, they do enough, they're well coached enough, their quarterbacks are aircraft carriers. They can guide you to the first half of the season, and then they show the curveball when it matters the most. That's an excellent point by Eagle Fly. I never thought of it like that, but that's and let's get to some of the. I don't know if Kadeem, you're back yet.
Okay. I am. My son called to tell me his tooth fell out. So yeah.
Oh, he did. Is Tooth Fairy coming or what?
He's with his mum, so she better do.
Did you do that 2 1s for Sauce?
I did. Yeah. That's annoying.
That's and AD Mitchell, the second round receiver out of the speedster out of Texas.
First in 2026, no, first in 2027.
Yeah, so they got 4 1s in the next 2 years, and they're in that same quarterback battle we're going to be in that same battle for a quarterback. So that's significant for the Dolphins. I mean, they have the ammo now to go up. Did DSG said? Did you say pickle face, Kadeem?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I call my son so many things, including pickle face. Just whatever pops to mind when I see him. Was like, yeah. So
yeah, it seems like Finns fans saying Ja. I think I'm saying it right. Said it seems like the Finns haven't made any moves. No, besides the Phillips deal, no, they have not.
Yeah, we need to ring a bell here.
We need some bell action. How do you hear it, Kadeem, or no?
I can hear it. Yeah.
All right, Kadeem, your thoughts on the deadline. Who do you expect to be moved? And do you have a surprise move? We know the names, right? The Chubbs and the Fitzpatrick. Those are the most. But then we go to the water. We go to the next level. Tell me what you kind of see happen in the next couple hours.
Yeah, I imagine Chubb goes, potentially Fitzpatrick. I can't see anyone giving the Dolphins what they want for Waddle, which they say is like a first plus, which I can somewhat understand. So yeah, a surprise move for me would probably be Jordan Brooks or like Jaylen White, because right now Jaylen White isn't really doing much in Miami. If a team wants to run him back just to, I guess, share the load with someone, he could be an option. But I think the Dolphins are kind of fine where they are. again, you have an interim GM, so he's not going to be on the phone too much. And I can imagine, unless Stephen Ross and to a degree Chris Gray agreed on something a couple of weeks ago, like we said it on Sunday, I think it was Sunday, the Dolphins don't have many good players that teams are actually going to want. So who's calling the Dolphins with an hour to go saying, hey, give me your mediocre linebacker or your really bad right tackle? Like, no one's doing that. So yeah, I can't imagine the Dolphins are too active outside of the obvious names that have already been mentioned.
You know who we haven't mentioned? Our center. Is there trade value for our center?
Oh yeah, there's definitely trade value, and it's interesting because
Brewer, I would. Aaron
like,
Brewer, huh? I would.
Really
yeah,
didn't think about Brewer, but he does usually grade out pretty decent. He's had a kind of a rough season, but he's kind of been turning it on. He's been doing better in the run department. He's been a big help in that category. I mean, is that someone we move?
who's the center we picked up a couple of years ago, undrafted
Oh,
guy,
you mean the
and
Andrew
then
Andrew Myers?
Andrew Meyer.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I reckon if he was healthy around now, the Dolphins might consider trading Brewer to be like, you know what, let's see what we got for the remaining how many games. But I also think they'll just ride with Brewer, and then reevaluate at the end of the season. It's again, it's I was saying to a friend earlier, who's calling the Dolphins wanting a center on trade deadline day? Like most teams have their offensive line kind of set. No one's got injured in the last week or so. Yes, it's a position which if you can upgrade, you would. But are you going to upgrade at center and potentially, have a few bad snaps because the quarterback and center haven't, on the same page? So no, Brewer, to me, more likely to go in the off season. But again, strange. I did not see Sauce Gardner going for 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
So
they overpaid. I mean,
oh, 100%.
That's
Yeah.
It was a surprise, but when somebody, it's like the Laramie Tunsil deal. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to offer you that. Heck, Sauce will tell you I'd go. like Laramie Tunsil said, there's no way. I put a poll up, guys, about Waddle if you would trade him for a first-round pick. I'm curious to see what, because we had an argument. We had Big O on. I don't know if you saw the game last night. I kind of went back and forth with him and Jason. What is your stance on Waddle? If somebody offered you a number one, let's say in the middle or high 20s, would you consider doing the move?
100%. Yeah,
I agree.
Like, and again, I don't hate Waddle. He's good. He's very good, but he has the drops, and it hasn't been as bad this season. But he will drop a pass every few games, and if you're a true receiver one, to me that shouldn't be part of your arsenal. I also don't like the way he catches footballs. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yeah. He's a body catcher. I mean,
yeah, like there's so many times where, and again, I've never played a single type of football in my entire life, but there's so many instances where the pass is coming towards him, and if he catches it in stride, he gets another 4, 5, 6 yards minimum. And until he like jumps in the air to catch him, like, dude, like you can't have been taught this. So listen, again, it goes back to if you're rebuilding and you've not drafted a quarterback next year, the year after, a veteran in Waddle will be great to have. But when you're rebuilding, anyone can go, like absolutely anyone. So if a team wants to give us a mid first round pick for Jaylen Waddle, you say thank you very much, and you go again.
Yeah, and that's funny. Like Jay says, at first I was with Big O, not wanting to trade Waddle, but at this point, trade him, strip the team, let's start over. I don't care anymore.
We got a question for you, Kadeem.
Go ahead.
We had a question earlier. Is Tua's on-field play worse than his microphone play in press conferences?
That's going to be the next poll
and
question.
Cap, I see you in there. I need your opinion on this one too.
Howdy, Cap. I think his on-field play is worse than his microphone play, but I think from the moment he entered Miami, Tua has been one of the worst people in front of the mic. Like, he says stuff and
no social awareness.
I'm just like, dude, like, why would you say that? But again, in my day job as a journalist, I really enjoy it because one, it gives me headlines. Like as a journalist, you're absolutely loving it, and I also think it's, you know, you look at what you said about players not turn up for meetings or like throwing players underneath the bus and stuff. Who was the Bengals player who said, what he said about the defense on Sunday and
Oh
not
yeah,
and not
yeah. There are a couple guys.
was it Chase Brown? And
Chase
and, and
Brown, the
listen,
running back, yeah.
yeah, and like listen, Chase Brown isn't the face of the franchise. I 100% get it, but it's Tua hasn't learned to speak media just yet, but then we have a go at players who do speak media because we want to hear what they actually think. And fair play to Tua for not being afraid to say what's on his mind, even if he gets him in trouble, because that's the world we live in today.
Yeah, that's a funny question. We got to trade Chubb. Shout out to Finn Sammy, Finn's TV brother. What's up? Love you, brother. Cap for life. Cap's always supporting everybody. I love Cap, man. So all right, we got the eyeball. What do we got here, Sammy? Are you looking to Sammy? You're always welcome to hop on the stream. You don't even have to ask. Just let me know, and we'll pull you up. But so far, you mentioned Champ Kelly. You said something interesting, Kadeem. Like I think Champ Kelly actually has the green light from Stephen Ross, right? What do you make about McDaniel and publicly? I want to get your opinion on this in the chat. Shout out to over the 450 people we have on all platforms. Let's get some more likes in here. We're with you on the trade deadline, Miami Dolphins trade deadline frenzy. Lo-Fi has been here with me since we started. We got Kadeem Simmons from the Go Time podcast, and we're taking you up to the 4 p.m. trade deadline, and we're hoping we'll get some breaking Dolphins news here. We're live with you. This is the place to be. I want to get your opinion on this. Publicly, Stephen Ross is saying all the right things about Mike, but privately in their actions, he's given Champ the green light to make some deals. It's part of the reason why Greer left is because he was reluctant to make some moves. Do you think that it's pretty much guaranteed that Mike's not coming back next year based on, because it's going to be all based on the record. If you trade, you already traded Chubb, Phillips. If you trade Chubb, let's say you traded Minkah, you're not going to be as good. And eventually they might take a look at yours or Wilson. Do you think it's kind of he just saying those things publicly behind the scenes? He knows the Tua thing is over and McDaniel's over for next season.
No, it's like I said when I was last on there. The amount of Dolphins fans who look at Dan Campbell like, damn, if only we kept him. It's like, well, you would have ran him out of the building inside 2 years. I do believe that, and again, this is just based on an opinion and some stuff that I've seen, in terms of Stephen Ross and stuff. I do believe that, again, opinion-wise, Stephen Ross wants Mike McDaniel to work, and that there's a fear, for lack of a better phrase, of allowing Mike McDaniel to leave, him going elsewhere, sitting for a bit, learning, and then becoming a really good head coach. And it's, we see how many former Dolphin assistants, coaches, all this kind of stuff, who are now head coaches or they're in the league somewhere doing quite well. And I think he probably looks at that and going, I've got to stop allowing people to leave and not give them enough time to develop and shine. And I think that part of Chris Greer going is we've got, again, just my opinion, Ross believes he has a talented head coach who has been let down by some of the players that the team had drafted. Someone said in the comments earlier, so sorry, I can't remember who it was, that Mike McDaniel in Miami has had some really high highs and some really low lows. And if you can just have a better team building strategy, you might still get those really high highs, but the lows are kind of like middling. So instead of, losing 6 games in a row and then winning 7, it's, you might lose 2 and then win 7, then lose 1, and kind of
Jekyll and Hyde. It's been to the left and to the right.
Yeah. So no, I don't think McDaniel is 100% out of a job just yet. If the Dolphins have some winnable games over the next few weeks, and funny enough, starting in Spain, that now seems like a very winnable game. So if he can, beat beat Washington, beat the Saints, beat the Jets. Even if those are his only 3 wins remaining of the season, it's like, you know what? This guy can pick up wins with a bad team against bad teams. Just to remain competitive. If McDaniel can remain competitive, I think he keeps his job for at least a year. I also think, very quickly, 2026 will be the last year of Tua McDaniel. Once that Tua contract is done, then they'll bring in someone else. But yeah.
Anthony says, I like Jaylen Waddle as much as the next guy, but sometimes the fans need to be realistic. No team is going to give away first round for a number 2 receiver at best. You're going to get a high second. And that's the issue. That's the issue I said last night. I'm not giving Jaylen Waddle away for a 2. I'll wait till the offseason. But if I can get somebody off of me a 1, especially the New York Giants, I don't see them doing that. They'd be crazy. That's a top 10 pick. I will pack Jaylen Waddle's bag and drive him to the airport. As much as I like the kid. As much as I like him.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, though, it's like the Colts just remortgaged their future on Daniel Jones. Like, no matter how good Daniel Jones has been this season, it's still no offense, Daniel Jones. For them to give up 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner because they think they can win at the very least this season.
Wow.
Dumber things could happen. Like, again, the Giants. If the Giants really like Jackson Dart and go, do you know what? We're going to give him Jaylen Waddle this season, and then next season we get Cam Scatterbo back and Jaylen Waddle, we can make a run. Teams do dumb stuff over and over again. Like, look how many dumb stuff the Dolphins do. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a team offers a first for Jaylen Waddle, even if I wouldn't do it personally.
Do you think the Dolphins would do it?
As in trade him for a first?
Yeah, if a team ponied up, let's say, I don't know, Baltimore. Or name a team, do the Dolphins. Because that's a fit. I could see Waddle. I could just see him in a Ravens uniform. Like, I already see it. Like, do you think the Dolphins would do that? Or do they?
Yeah, Ricky Scoops is saying it could be the Broncos. Like,
yeah, in the Seahawks. Did you see Ricky said? Jordan Schultz reported that the 2 teams he's keeping an eye on in general for the holy crap move is the Seahawks and the Broncos.
Yeah,
and the Seahawks, and he said the Broncos are a team that their holy crap move would be Jaylen Waddle, and their first round pick would be somewhere in the 20s, right? They're a really good team. And it actually makes sense for them. That a Broncos pick with Waddle with Knicks makes sense because they're pretty sure about him as a quarterback. Yeah. I actually like that move for both teams. And the Seahawks they traded for Shaheed, by the way. I don't know what Lo-Fi, do we know, or in the chat, do you know what the compensation was for Shaheed? I didn't see that. I'll look it up. But so that's it. Do you think the Dolphins would take that? Would they take it if they were offered? Is my question.
They would be stupid not to. Like, and again, as I said, what will be a great option for your potential future quarterback in the nicest way possible. I'm not saying you can go and get someone to play just as well as Waddle in the draft, but if you look at some of the wide receivers that have come out this year alone, a good scouting regime and a good GM can replace a Waddle. Like, Waddle isn't a absolutely groundbreaking NFL wide receiver, but he's a very, very good one. Like a 1B, which isn't anything bad, but yeah.
And Anthony wants we'll give a chance if somebody wants to hop on this stream. I mean, we're going to be going on, at least Lo-Fi and I will be taking you up to the deadline, and Kadeem, you're welcome to stay as long as you can till the kids start crying or something.
I've got another one that's sleeping right now. I should probably go and pick up in a bit.
That'll be your alarm clock, right? Let me send the link in the chat. Lo-Fi, do they take a first if they offered?
Absolutely.
That's why I didn't understand the pushback last night. I thought I was crazy.
He was going down more of it's just unrealistic. He went down this road of
but is it though?
What are you going to watch next year? There's no Waddle. Waddle is the show.
But they're not winning anyway. What's the long-term value of Jaylen Waddle to this franchise in 3 years? A 29, 30-year-old speed receiver? We know what that looks like.
Hey guys,
Anthony, how you doing? You got a lot of some background noise there.
Oh no, that's my box fan where I'm sleeping right now. There's no air conditioning. So
okay. And we got Cat for Life in the house.
Yeah, no, and this is what I don't like about our fan base, to be honest. Our fan base is unrealistic. Some of them think we're going to get 2 for first-round picks for Jaylen. He's a good receiver, but he's not at the level of Justin Jefferson. He's not at the level of like even a CD Lamb and stuff like that. I like Jaylen. At best, you get a high second-round pick for him. Like, or like I said, the rumor that the Broncos might give a compensatory second-round pick that becomes a first if he produces the rest of the season, like if he elevates his game the rest of the season, like if he gets 1,000 yards or something like that, like you know how the NHL like trades draft picks, future draft picks, and it becomes a first or a high second if the player that you trade
conditional pick.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think I like Waddle, but he is not worth a first-round pick. Unless you're the Buffalo Bills who need a receiver, then they will. But it's going to be a late first-round pick.
Yeah, that's what we can't do. We can't say he's not a wide receiver one, but you put him on the Bills, he's a wide receiver one. He's definitely
a wide receiver one.
Definitely the best wide receivers for a lot of teams.
He's a number. To me, he's a number one, number two receiver. If this makes any sense, he's a top number two receiver.
He's a high two, low one. If that makes me. I just emailed Ben Albright from who covers the Broncos. I'm see if he has anything on the Waddle.
So if you're the Buffalo Bills, do you offer a one for a Jaylen Waddle? Already, we would probably say yes.
I don't know if the Dolphins do that to the Bills.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't give it to them.
Let's shut up.
I'm hearing the Cowboys.
They would have to get. They would have to give us two. Every other team would give us one. Have to give us one draft pick, one first-round pick. The Buffalo Bills would have to give us two.
Yeah,
because it's in division tax.
Let's bring up Cap. Cap, finally, brother. Thank you for all the support. How you doing, my man?
Oh no. Hey, no, thank you, Kadeem, thank you, Lofi, and for being a couple of months because, gentlemen, we all went through it.
You're breaking up, Cap.
Where the hell you're at, bro? If you got Aqua and barely orange bug, bro,
Cap,
you're feeling it, right?
We can't hear you. You're breaking up. It's loud and it's breaking up.
You're Borgin, bro. You're Borgin.
What about now? Am I in the blender?
Yeah, you're okay. You're better now.
Excellent. No, and my thing is, and shout out to you guys for working overtime, all of you, man. It's been a hell of a ride the past couple of months. And my thing is, if the Cowboys have a lot of grocery money to give out, and I don't know, like, are you interested in anything Jerry Jones wants to give us, or do you guys want more bang for your buck?
Well, I mean, the guys he's interested in is probably Fitzpatrick and Chubb, right? Those are the two guys. I'll go around the room. I'll go around the chat. What is your line? Chubb, I'm willing to take pretty much anything. You give me a fifth, sixth. Minkah, can you get a third or conditional fourth? I think you can get a fourth. What's the line for you guys? We'll start with you, Lo-Fi. We'll walk around the room. What is your line on the Cowboys and their offer for Fitzpatrick? Where are you headed there? What's the line?
He's almost in the Chubb realm for me. Just ready to unload the contract. He doesn't offer any leadership, culture change. He doesn't offer any of those things for me. I mean, I think he's definitely worth the 4. I mean, on the high end of 3. But yeah, any day too. I'm pretty excited about letting him go.
If you can get a conditional 4, all right, Kadeem, you shake your head no.
As in, like, yeah.
What do you want? What do you want for what are you comfortable taking for him? Is it a 4th? Or
yeah, like listen, if I get a 4th, I'm 1 and 2. I'm 100% doing it. It's funny because when we had Minkah the first time, I nearly got his jersey, and as I went to buy it, we traded him, and I was like, cool, that's quite lucky. And I've got a friend in Miami right now, and I messaged him yesterday saying, hey, can you go get me a Minkah Fitzpatrick jersey from the team store?
Don't do it.
And I was like, cool, so he's going again. So I was like, yeah, me and Minkah, like, it's never meant to happen. But no, a 4 for Minkah, I take. Listen, Chubb and Minkah, I'll take whatever I can to get them, to be honest. It's like that those snaps could be going to someone who will be here next year. I can't imagine either are here next year, and just, getting that draft capital as early as possible, is what it is.
Yeah. What's your price range on? You take a 4th or a 3rd, Cap, or what do you want from Minkah?
I mean,
You're in the blender again. You're in the blender.
What about now?
Okay, you're out of the blender.
Okay, bear with me. I'm about to head out in a little while. But for me, if we're really gonna do this right, blow it up. Get as much groceries as you can, bro. Because at the end of the day, these guys are not gonna. I mean, everybody. What makes you think that these guys want to come back here if they're on a rookie contract? Think about that. Like,
True.
if we can get more bang for our buck to lessen the blow that's going to be dead cap, that's just me. I say go for it, because if you can tell right now, the body language from this team is they're giving up. So, I mean, obviously you can't trade the quarterback, but try to get as much value as you can, because when that day comes to get rid of Tua, you'll be ready. That's just me. But if you're willing to go all in to try to do something now, I mean, you're looking at it right now. It's very difficult to do right now. And obviously you're not going to hold on to all this personnel till next season, because we don't even know if the coaching staff's coming back, let alone the personnel. So I just, at this point, we said it in the beginning of the season, once we got to this midpoint and with Spain coming up, if we were at an under 500 record, blow it up. Blow the whole thing up. Get as much bang as buck as you can. Get as many thirds, as many seconds, as many firsts. And if all these teams can rebuild after 2 years, why can't we?
Yeah, I said 2028. If they do it right, they'll be ready. If everything goes right, they'll be ready to at least get in the conversation.
I disagree with Kadeem, actually, with Minkah, because knowing Jerry Jones, with how desperate and like how crazy he would give up Jerry Jones doesn't know the value of drafting, like trading players. I think he would give us, being how idiotic Jerry is, I think he would give us a second or a third. Have you seen the history of Jerry Jones? You really think he's going to be conservative? He'll probably give up a third or a second for him.
A second for Minkah Fitzpatrick in 2025 is crazy.
I think a third is the ceiling.
Yeah,
that's the best you can do.
No, but we're talking about Jerry Jones here. Jerry's an idiot.
Yeah, Jerry's an idiot, but not that much of an idiot, I don't think.
Yeah, like if that happens, the NFL should seriously look at taking away the team from him, because you can't have someone that's old and senile making decisions. Like, really think about that kind of stuff. Like,
I mean, we do have Ross.
We do have Mr. Magoo. What does Frank think?
No, but I agree with Cap. Like, I would take anything from Chubb for Chubb, and A-Chain. I think the main team that's targeting him is the two teams that I see the favorites for him are the Chiefs, because Pacheco's constantly injured and stuff like that, or the Seahawks. But the Seahawks don't really need a running back, do they?
No, you're talking about H.A. is somebody I'm not moving. I'm not letting Champ Kelly touch Devon H.A. I don't know about you guys. Anybody differ on that?
Yeah, me.
You're
if we're going to into a full rebuild, guys, what's the point of?
He's 23 years old. You know.
No, but
I'm not against it. Here's the thing. I'm not against it, but you'd have to blow me away. You'd have to start at least a first round pick, and nobody's going to do
it. No, but when you look at, when was the last time you guys can remember, outside of Ricky Williams, which was like 20 years ago, when was the last time you can remember a running back getting a first round pick?
Yeah, but the only thing with A-Chain, teams could look at him more as a weapon, right? He's not just a running back, so that kind of that.
Yeah, he's more of a gadget player almost.
Yeah.
But who's dumb enough to give up a first round pick for a gadget player? You don't know what position he's going to be playing.
Only knock I have on A-Chain, he's not a true 3-down running back. And when I say that, as he's not grading very well when it comes to pass blocking. It's not his forte. He's obviously one of the top guys coming out of the backfield. He looks good on some of these. You give him, outside runs and whatnot. He can get around the corner, but he's not really a true 3-down running back when it comes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a right thing to say with A-Chain. For him to have a long career, it's not conducive for him specifically to be running in between the tackles, because at max am I being generous when I say he's 190 pounds?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, he's better between the tackles than people give him credit for. Like, I will say that.
He's better, but if you're like Dolphin fans who want a tough, physical, team which is run first, no offense, Achan can't be your lead back in
No,
that.
he's not, yeah.
So for me, that's why I'm like, people will
The
say,
right deal, I wouldn't be opposed. If somebody blew my socks
Ollie
off,
Gordon
listen,
would be that.
Yeah, like
what would it take for you, Kadeem? Give me the offer. Mock trade me.
If someone offered me a second for Achan, I would take it.
No,
because again, listen. It's not something which I would like. Oh my day, do it immediately. But I'm not getting a first for him. A second would be, I guess, fair value. As I was saying, people want a physical, team that's going to run the ball, all this kind of stuff. That's not Achan. And if we're rebuilding, I'm not paying him. So why am I keeping a running back, running him into the ground, and then maybe getting a comp pick for him? Like, that's probably not going to happen. So for me, I'm striking while the iron is hot and his value is high. I'm not keeping him on a bad team, losing over and over again, and then this time next year going, okay, give me a fifth for him. Like, no. So again, he's not the first person on my list, but if someone calls and offers a second round pick, I would consider it and probably say yes. Okay, cool, I'll do it.
Yeah, and to me, when we look at the running back trade market right now, it's not that good. So I think A-Chain's probably the best running back on the market when it comes to trade and stuff like that. And I think that's where the inflated value for him comes from, because there's not really good running backs or a weapon like Lo-Fi said behind him to justify giving up draft capital for.
So I think Nick brought us a good point. Something. What do you guys think about? Is A-Chain going to want money next year?
Potentially
that's what Jason Sarni always brings up. That we got to take that into consideration. Hey, he's gonna want money. So yeah, what do you guys think? Does that make it for you? Those conversations had to happen.
He's expendable to me, because to me, I've been saying this from the beginning, George and Lo-Fi and Kadeem, the two positions you can replace right away out of the draft because of the production you can get right away are running back and receiver.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So to me, I'm okay with trading a Waddle because I could draft a Jordan Tyson who can give us probably the same production, and he would be a true number one receiver. And I can draft a running back like a Nick Shelton who does the same exact crap, the same stuff that A-Chain does, because Penn State is using him the same exact way as a receiver, a slot receiver, and a running back. So you can draft the guy who does the same exact thing out of draft to replace A-Chain. Our fans are acting like there's no other guy in the draft that can do the same thing that A-Chain does. Kadeem and Lo-Fi. Is that them being too attached to the player, or is them not paying attention to the draft?
Guys, I'm going to use the rest. 1 second. You guys take over.
No worries. I think with a lot of things, in just my opinion, it's easy to say you can find someone in the draft. You need to hit on that, on that player. So yes, there are running backs in the draft who can do what Achan does. It's finding them, and the Dolphins over the last few years have kind of shown that, are they really the best at drafting running backs? But again, it all depends on.
We have Ollie Gordon.
Yeah, and Ollie Gordon looks like he could be something. And for me, it's by the time this team is ready to compete, and I don't think it'll be next year, but it very easily could be 2027. Is Achan again, like, how is Achan looking? And for me, it's just he's gonna want to get paid next year. If his value is at its highest right now, then I'm taking that draft pick and trusting my scouts and my coaching staff to find someone else. It could be an Ollie Gordon who's ready in the building. So, yeah.
And I'm one of the and Kadeem, I'm one of the minority that I feel we can. I can't believe I'm saying this. I want to see what a guy like McDaniel can do with a quarterback he actually chose instead of being forced. Look, I've been saying this. I think McDaniel was guided to say all that stuff when he got hired. I don't think he really believed in Tua. I think Greer and Ross told him to say all that, like to cater to the fan base that's behind Tua from the beginning and stuff like that. So to me, I want to see what McDaniel can do with a quarterback he actually drafted. Like
Question for everyone. If we're having a fire sale and we're open for a fire sale, we have Waddle talk. Why has there been no A-Chain talk? Where's the article or the tweet or the insider that has A-Chain's name attached? Is there something going on in NFL when NFL is looking at A-Chain that says, okay, if Dolphins are open for the picking, why don't we have any movement or words for A-Chain? Is he that narrow of a running back where it just is not fitting schemes? Why isn't A-Chain getting any buzz?
Sorry.
No, I've been saying this. I think what's happening is the running back market in general, the last few years, Lo-Fi, has decreased in value because the running game hasn't really the running back has devalued in general in the draft and in general because you can only at most get maybe 3 to 4 years, and I'm being generous for a top level running back. A guy like Saquon and Ezekiel Elliott, I'm surprised they even lasted for as long, almost a decade, and stuff like that. So for me, the running back and what's hurting him is there's not really a good running back market behind him trade wise because no, and like you said, he's a weapon. He's not really a true running back. He's more of a gadget or a weapon. And no one's gonna give up a second for a guy you don't know what his true position is because you're playing him around the field and stuff like that.
It's the type of back too. As I jump back in here, guys, thank you for holding the fort down.
Thing is, I also think that if you're a team needing a running back, you're more likely to call the Jets for Breece Hall. Like it's probably easier to get Breece Hall out of New York for a better pick than we're going to get for A-Chan out of Miami. So if you need a running back, you probably aren't calling the Dolphins, you're calling the Jets or even someone else.
But Breece, the issue is I think Breece is more injury prone than A-Chain, to be honest.
That's an interesting point. Who would you rather have, Breece Hall for the price? They're different players. You know, the thing you guys were talking, the type of back A-Chain. It's the same thing I say for Waddle. Speed players always concern me as they age, right? They don't age well. Soft tissue injuries, things like that start adding up. He's still young. What's the shelf life? What is he going to look like? I kind of agree with people who say, what is it going to look like when in 2028 when we're ready to compete, let's say? I mean, you never know. I say that, you never know in the league, right? You have really one or two really good drafts. You have one really good draft, and things could change.
I think Breece is more likely to degrade because of the punishment he's going to take, to be honest. Like, A-Chain doesn't really go head on into a tackle. He tries to avoid it as much as possible. Breece wants to go straight in. And I think that type of running back lasts a lot, has a shorter shelf life because he's a in between the tackles guy that's going to be taking the punch.
Sorry, the Cowboys just traded for Quinn Williams, sending a first-round pick and more to the Jets.
Wow!
Stop giving the Jets first rounders.
Wow!
Like, what are we doing?
Wow!
Yeah, that's all actually. The Cowboys are trading Jets, Pro Bowl, DT, Quinn Williams, sending a first-round pick and more to the Jets.
Wow!
Is Quinnen really worth a first-round pick? Is my question.
Wow, he's a heck of a player, man. I would
call him a blue chip.
He's a heck of a player. I mean, now is it worth it for the Jets?
For a first round pick.
Excuse me, for the Cowboys, the Jets absolutely.
Well, the Cowboys have what, 2 first round picks? They got the Cowboys, they got the and the Packers.
Yeah. Do we know which pick? If it's a number 31, it's fine.
Someone, I'm trying to find the tweet. So give me 2 secs.
Yeah.
Rap sheet expected to be the Cowboys first rather than the Packers first.
Oh, that's better.
That's an overpay. That's a massive overpay.
Nah, he's a heck of a young player. He's a heck of a young defensive
Yeah,
tackle.
no. But what I'm saying is, this is what I like Quinnen. He has the same issue that what's his name? The guy who went to the Raiders, who used to be with the Dolphins.
Christian Wilkins.
They're great run defenders, but I'm not going to be giving up a first or paying that much money for a run defender.
He's got some pass rush in him. Williams is.
It's not consistent enough. Is what I'm saying. It's not a consistent pass rush where you can rely on him for that. He's a run defender, and I'm not. That's a massive overpay to me.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets just added 3 number 1s today, and again, that's a team competing with us for a quarterback or rebuild or high draft picks. Man,
but the Jets are incompetent like us with drafting. So, do you really think they're good?
Yeah, but the thing is, at some point they're probably going to get it right. You would think, and also looking at Tankathon right now. So, if the season ended today, the Saints have the number 1 pick and Tennessee have the number 2 pick. Tennessee aren't drafting a quarterback, so the Saints probably will. So, but the Jets have got to have, the pick of one of them.
If the Titans are sitting at number 1, it's open game for them.
Well, no. So the Saints are. The Saints currently have the 1st overall pick. So if you're
the Titans get in that spot, it's open game.
Of course, yeah, 100%. But the Jets currently would have the 3rd overall pick, pick 14, and where did they trade Source to?
The Colts.
The Colts.
Somehow the Colts have the 32nd pick in this. This has the Colts being.
I think they're the best record in the NFL.
Yeah.
Here's what's sad, guys. The Jets have better assets than we do. They now have 4 first-round draft picks, and we've come out with what out of our fire sale?
Oh, let's update the breaking
1/3.
news. We got our breaking news: the Jets again make another move. They just traded Sauce Gardner to the Colts for 2 number 1s.
So think about NFL's looking.
Wait. They just traded Quinn Williams.
They're looking to the Jets, not the Dolphins, for players.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner, who do we have to offer? I mean, it's Waddle. We don't have anybody at that level that we can offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thanks, career.
So, Lo-Fi, just one thing. The Jets have 3 this year, and then they've got, I think, 2 next year. Those 3 first-round picks.
What that's like? What does that remind you of, guys? Our 2020 and 21 draft.
Yeah.
We're setting up.
Now, no. And to me, this is where this doesn't, scare me a little bit because the Jets are as incompetent as us when it comes to drafting. So they might do something stupid and trade up to number 2, but not draft the quarterback. Maybe draft a Reuben Bain or something like that, or a Jordan Tyson without a running back. So let's not get too excited.
Coming out of this with the quarterback.
This looks like we're staying in house and punting to 2027, kind of like one of the possible scenarios where he's going to keep McDaniels on board, and Tua is going to be our quarterback, and Champ Kelly's our GM as this free agency deadline's wrapping up.
Yeah, because we're not going to be able to compete. If let's say this Kadeem scenario, let's say the Titans do end up number 1, there's no way we can compete. Nobody's going to be able to compete with the Jets have to offer, right? It's exact same scenario the Dolphins had in 20 and 21. 3 number 1s in 20, 2 number 1s in 21. It's what do you do with them now, right? And now you got the draft picks are lottery tickets, right? It's how do you cash them in, and they're going to be your point, Lo-Fi. You said, hey, this could be Dolphins could be putting on the QB position in 27. Well, I got news for you. If it's Mendoza you want, or it's Ty Simpson out of Alabama, it's one of those quarterbacks. The Jets are now in the driver's seat. So either the Dolphins got to pick number 1, or they're going to have a hard time trading to get that guy unless somebody.
Yeah, and for me, if they draft a quarterback, trade up to. I think they're drafting Simpson because that fits the scheme that they have. Like Simpson fits their scheme to a T, like a progression
him.
based.
You
And his
You know what-
upcoming draft is not too deep, is it? Because I think when last time I looked at it, a lot of
It's O line and defense. It's
lot of
defensive
O-linemen,
line and
a lot of
it's
interior
all
linemen.
O line and
there's some
defensive
receivers.
line.
There's some
That's deep.
receivers too in there. I like
Yeah.
the receiver class.
Guys, I've got to go. My
No
my
problem,
kids
Kadeem. Thank you so much, man.
Kadeem,
Well,
always great to see you.
If we're
I'll be
still
back
on, you
soon.
want to hop back on? If we're still on and you can't, if you want to, you're free to. Thank
Will
you,
do.
brother.
Guys, thanks so much. Take care.
Have a good.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Yeah, lo-fi, and I don't think it has anything to do with the Dolphins. It's just that, like George said, we don't have a player. If Tyreek was healthy, yes, we would have a player at that level that a team would give up a
It's
first
H.N. or
round pick.
Waddle. It's H.N. or Waddle for us would be.
So let's discuss Hill real quick. Is it possible? What do we owe him? $54 million we can get out of. Is it a possibility that we could get rid of Waddle with the idea of saying, "Hey, Hill, we want to give you that $54 million, but over 2 years. Let's get you back on the field. Let's get you. We got rid of Waddle, so you're going to be the 1A, 1B, and the 1C. We're going to make you look like the Hill that you want to be." Does that sound like some sort of scenario
I
that
think
plays
it's
itself
one.
out?
I don't think.
Yeah, that's the most likely. Just getting creative on that.
We're gonna rebuild this thing. Let's get rid of all the old skeletons. Let's get rid of all of them. But why would Waddle want to come back to a team that's not, again, like you said, to prove something, to build his trade value again, maybe? But I don't know. I don't know, Anthony. Chad, if you have an opinion, I don't see.
Yeah, no, and lo-fi. I've actually said this too. The Dolphins have this weird problem: is we either trade a player too soon or we hold on and we tank their value and stuff like that. We should have traded. If it. This is what happened.
Let's think it through this way. Let's say we did approach Hill, say, "Hill, we want you to be part of the Dolphins. Can you take a 2-year, $60 million deal instead of this 1 year, $54 million year? Let's get you on this 2-year path, back onto the top. And as soon as he starts playing good, you got him on a favorable contract. If he plays as a top 5, top 3 wide receiver once again, we feed him the ball, and all of a sudden you trade him. What's he worth?"
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the only way. I don't.
That's being very creative, but maybe not even realistic. But it's fun to try and play out.
I mean,
Use an asset.
Yeah, and I've been saying from the beginning, like, people are saying Jonah's trash and already giving up on the kid. And I'm like, when you really pay attention to what's happening, Jonah has to cover up with Aaron Brewer. Aaron constantly is getting pushed back into the quarterback's lap or getting beat. So Jonah has to cover for Aaron and do his own job and stuff like that. And that's why he's looking like he is, to be honest. In my honest opinion, that's why Jonah's.
Yeah.
If I'm in the draft and I had Greer trade up for me, I'll be like, "Oh, damn, my career's over." We traded up.
No, and I think, honestly, I'm looking at Alec Alabi from, I think that's who our next GM is going to be. The guy from the Eagles, the assistant GM who's learned
young
under
guy?
Alec Alabi.
Yeah, he's really young. He looks really young, right? He's got a baby face and
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to be doing we're in the next few weeks. We got guests lined up. We're going to be doing some GM stuff. We got another guest with us, friend of mine, friend of the program. Let's bring him up here, Mr. Bobby Finstock from FTSN.
Bobby himself.
What's up? No moves yet, Bobby. Are you bringing moves with you?
Man, I wish I was bringing some moves. Get some, man. I've seen everybody else, man. The stinking Jets making moves.
3 number ones. They're in the driver's seat now, Bobby. We can't, like I said, if we don't have that number 1 pick or number 2 pick, Kadeem was on here and he said, look, if the Titans get the number 1 pick, they're not taking a quarterback. But we're not going to be able to compete. If you want a quarterback in this draft, that's another discussion.
No, apparently, actually, apparently they might draft the quarterback because that front office has already given up on Cam Ward.
No, I don't think they're not going to give up on Cam. Give Cam some time. It's like you just said with Jones. Give these guys, they're young players. Like, you wouldn't be surprised if half the guys that you look at in the league when you thought of them after 8 games and what they turned out to be. Look at Chop. We've gone on a roller coaster ride with Chop. First 8 games, you hate him. Next 8, you love him. The next 8, you hate him again. Like they're young, but man, Bobby, the Jets are the driver's seat. What do you think of the Jets moves today, man?
Ballsy. I mean,
I like it though.
Shocking because nobody was taught. I don't remember seeing anything on Sauce Gardner or Quinnen Williams being moved. I mean, it was a lot of Miami, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips. They keep pushing Jaylen Waddle. So we're watching. Nothing's happening. Of course, Jalen traded yesterday. All of a sudden, you see Sauce Gardner for 2 first-rounders to Indianapolis. And now Dallas, Dallas is going to make a big trade. Is it for Bradley Chubb? Is it for Minkah? No, it's Quinnen Williams. And now the Jets, that's Russ Morgan there, who probably was all pissed off earlier, now feels pretty damn good because that's what Russ is the host of On Deck on FTSN. He's our Jets fan, resident Jets fan. What they got? First 4 rounders in 2 years. I mean, and these are quality picks. Damn, because
But Bobby,
yeah,
I have a question.
Anthony.
Can you trust the Jets to make the right choices? It's the problem. Like they're as incompetent at drafting as us. You really?
I don't know. They just got 2 first rounders for Sauce.
Let me just say. They've hit some pretty good draft picks over the years, the Jets, and I hate being anybody to defend it. I'm not gonna try to do that, but I'm gonna say this.
You Jet defender, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, brother. How long has their GM been there?
He's pretty.
He's new, isn't he? Isn't he 1 year?
Yeah, he's new. I think he just didn't. Let me look up the Jets GM. I'm still.
He's been there for 2 years.
2 years now. Okay, so I don't know if we have a full. It's the same thing right now with Miami, right?
Darren Mogi was hired in 25 of January. He was the assistant general manager of the Broncos.
There you go. So he's brand new. So we don't know what they're going to do with those picks, Anthony.
Sorry to cut you off, Bobby. The tackle they took out of Memba, hell of a player,
So again, I understand, right? When you look at now you could say, well, look who their owner is. It's Woody Johnson. Is he going to keep his hands off? Is he going to let these guys do their job? That's the same thing with the Dolphins. Because I could tell you, Anthony, somebody could tell us, do we trust Miami to make the right picks and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Chris Greer is gone. So there's at least
at some point, man.
Optimism. We might make a good pick, but you still have Stephen Ross there. But that's never going to change. So I understand that point, Anthony. But at the same time, there's a new GM. There's a new coach. We understand they were going to have a down year, but at least look at them. They had the cojones to actually say, okay, look, we're not going anywhere. These are great players. And you're going to trade them up for
the trade. The trade is updated. The trade was updated. Actually, it's a second this year, a first next year, and Mozzie Smith for Quinnen Williams.
So let's look at their capital. Here's interesting. It's kind of like the Dolphins dropped capital that year in 20. I mentioned it. So this year they're going to have. You said what was it? Second this year. So they have 2 1s this year, 2 seconds, 3 firsts next year, and a second. Very similar to when the Dolphins had just flip it in 20 and 21. Go ahead, Bobby.
Think about this, guys. The cap space. They got the 6th most cap space going into next year as well. I think they're about 96 million under. So now they just cleared a whole bunch more cap space. They could pretty much do whatever they want as far as players want to play for them.
Yeah, Mozzie. Okay, yeah, I see the. And then Jordan Schultz, he had a gift. He just tweeted a GIF. It's not over. So he's expecting more moves here on the trade deadline. Hoping some juicy stuff, man. I want to get Bobby's thought on this because we got Big O on. I got into it with Big O, man. Jason, the whole Waddle trade scenario.
Okay.
We have a poll up. If somebody offers you a number 1 for Waddle, yes or no? Oh, Bobby, where are you going? You going with Big O or you going with
I don't know where your answer is. I don't know where you lean. I'll say this.
Hit the bell if he says yes to a 1. You got to hit the bell.
Okay, got you. Hey, Bobby, you texted me a bell thing. I didn't see it.
Bobby,
I like the manual one.
are you taking a 1?
Yeah, I'll take a
I
1.
agree. I agree.
I
Get
take
that
a 1.
bell.
And again, look, I love Jaylen Waddle. I really do. And if we don't trade him, I'm fine with that. However, the way this team is set up right now, you got to make that deal. And Waddle, for as much upside as he has, and where I thought his career was going, you know, even when we got Hill, I was saying 1A, 1B. If Hill gets moved, I think Waddle easily moves up to 1, and we feel good. But the last few seasons, we haven't seen that out of him. So it's been, and he seems like a great guy, great kid, and all that. But I think right now where Miami is, especially in the cap hell that they're going to be in, and especially with assets, you got to make this deal. When you see your main rival, and that's what I consider the Jets. I hate the Jets with a passion. I think they're the dog. When you and I think Stephen Ross feels the same about Woody Johnson. You know, when you're looking at your rival and they have the balls to go ahead and make these type of deals for these type of picks because they're not going anywhere right now. You got to look at yourself and say, okay, what are we willing to do? Who are we willing to move out of? And that's where maybe that's your, you know, again, I'm still not on the train of trading Achin, but I'm willing to listen on Jaylen Waddle. So yeah, if a team offers me a first round pick and that can leave me with 2 first round picks, and I know mine's going to be in that top 10, top 15 range, I'm for sure doing that. And that way I can move around.
You mentioned they're our competition. They're our competition because that's the other team that's doing the full rebuild. Because no mistakes about this. This is a full rebuild now. None of this soft reset bullshit. This is a full on blown rebuild. Okay, we're doing it again, right? But you're in a competition with the other team that's doing we cannot compete, Bobby. They're loaded with draft capital. Oh, we have 3 number 3s. That's nice, but you need 1s and 2s, especially in that quarterback market. And you know, there's the only players you're gonna get, like A-Chain or Waddle. And I don't know if A-Chain will get you a 1. But my point on Waddle, and I got pushback last night, is at best, Bobby, you can tell me if you agree. If they do it right, you're looking at 28 is when you a team that, I mean, you never know what could happen. You can have a hell of a draft, you find the quarterback, and things change in a year, dude. But let's just say they do it right and let's play it, be modest. But at 28, they're ready to make some noise in the play, get to the playoffs. Let's say a push. How old is Jaylen Waddle? 30 years old. People forget he's already 26, 27. Time flies, man. And he's a speed receiver who's a good receiver. Good. I would say he's a high 2, bottom 1 receiver. If that makes sense. A lot of soft tissue injuries, small. And we know what happens when a speed receiver hits 30. It's not good. I don't know how. And what is his long-term value besides their argument last night is, do you want to have entertainment or do you want the new quarterback to have weapons? No, I want the new quarterback to have an offensive
They're continuing to update it, actually. They said Adonai Mitchell's going to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
so
so if you
remember, Jaylen Waddle did play slot receiver his rookie year, where he broke a rookie receiving reception record, I think it was, like 104. So he has a lot of value in almost any spot on the wide receiver line.
The Broncos make a lot of sense for him. The Broncos,
he could help any team. He really has a lot of value when you really bring down to it.
Do the Chiefs need a receiver?
Well, apparently last night they said that they didn't, and I like they couldn't use one. I mean, I guess because you have Xavier Worthy or Waddle. You want to push that with underneath with Kelsey, and then what's the other guy? Rashid Rice. Why not? Like they're not an explosive big play team. But anyways, the Broncos make a lot of sense to me. You know, because you got Bo Nix. They don't have that deep speed weapon. They have Cortland Sutton. Their pick's going to be in the 20s. I'm not taking, but here's the bottom line: is I'm not taking anything less than number 1, Bobby. Like I'm not taking it 2. We can hold off until the offseason. His value's not going to change.
Because again, like, and then they can go to their argument. You know, for a 1, I'm willing to listen to what the offer is. I'm willing to entertain that offer. If it's less than a 1, I'm good, because you're better with him than you are without him, and especially if you go get a young quarterback, if that's what Miami's plan is, you want to have that weapon to go and have that type of security blanket, because especially if you're going to not re-sign.
Bobby, I have a question for you. Actually, I want your thoughts on this. I was telling George and Lo-Fi that what I can see happening is they can give us their second round pick this year, with a condition that it becomes a first this year or next year if Waddle produces with the Broncos. Would you be okay with that or not really?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Look. I love that idea. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I'll tell you why I wouldn't do it, because I can't trust Waddle to stay healthy. And again, a second rounder is still a second rounder. It's still a good quality pick. I was saying it yesterday to Curtis. Curtis was on Fitz Talk today. George, an awesome guy, man. And
I love Curtis is great.
And I'll say why I love third rounders. I'm happy that Miami has 3 third rounders. I mean, people go, "Oh no, we want first rounders." I get it, but with a first round, when you're in that top 10, it's very hard to ignore those top 10 players. He's like, I got to go one of these guys. I'd rather trade down and get more picks and then go with the guys in the 20s, because George knows as much as I and probably better than anyone is that that's where the bread and butter is. Those are the guys that nobody really. So when I get those third round picks, I'm looking like, oh man, I can't wait to dive deep.
Your roster, your depth,
100%.
So yeah, no, and this is what I did. Funny you should bring that up. Trading down, Bobby. I did a mock draft where I traded down to 15, 16. I got Spencer Fanu from Utah
guy, huh?
at guard.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he knows. He does it. But
and then
so Utah offensive tackle Fanu. That's actually a good pick at 15 in the top 15. That's crazy.
And I drafted Emmanuel Paragon from Oregon, the guard.
Okay.
And at center, I got Logan Jones with my second round pick. Because let's be honest, like offensive lineman is another position you guys agree that gets pushed up because they're so valuable. The offensive linemen, edge rushers, and quarterbacks get pushed up the most because of the value of the positions.
Even guards now are getting pushed up. Like it's offensive line in general. Like guard used to be a position that would be like taboo to draft. But look where
this draft has a lot of guards.
Yeah, and
we have a lot of tackles that are going to become guards in the NFL. They say Fanu and Lamu from.
I got to do more. I'm not sure. I got to do more work on Fanu. There's some things I like and I don't like about him. He's a tricky one for me. I got to really dig in more.
And they're actually predicting the Minnesota kid Riley Mahan to move up in the draft because of his measurables. Like he's 6'7", he's 6'8", like 338.
And I will say this, Anthony. First off, I love that you went in that direction. First off, offensive line, right? For and because the popular answer, right, George, right now, especially for Miami, is quarterback.
Yep.
And trust me, dude.
That conversation, Bobby.
I know it. And again, there are some. Nobody's perfect, right? There's still a whole off season to go off these guys or whatever. Yeah. But Lenore Sellers, Fernando Mendoza. I mean, these are guys like you're like, oh man, if we could. But don't get me wrong.
We're gonna have to have the Mendoza talk.
Oh,
we will have a Mendoza talk for sure.
If we end up moving on from, what's his name? McDaniel after this season. What are your guys' thoughts on Lane Kiffin as our next head coach?
Bobby, finish your point. Then we'll get to that. Finish it. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna just continue what Anthony was saying, because I like that he went O-line, because I will say this. As much as and I'm all aboard on getting our quarterback, and especially Miami could get another first rounder somewhere, somehow, great. But there are some quality players, and there's still more to be on the D line, the offensive line. You talk, Ruben Bain, Fanu. I'm forgetting his last name, George. The tackle out of Miami, Francis.
Maui Noah.
Yeah, his brother's a linebacker. He's a beast.
He's a beast, man. So he
has to move to guard permanently. They're not saying he's a tackle in the NFL. They're saying his feet and his arm length scare.
Be careful with that, because you know what I mean. Everybody says that, but you got to be careful. If he's shown on tape, he's good at right tackle.
Look what's happening with Sabanea right now.
Yep.
They got him in an unnatural position. I still believe in the kid. I mean, so people.
So do I, man. So do I.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's about to stop it, dude. Just chill out, slow down." They got him in an unnatural position. He's learning. They got to look. Well, I don't even know why they haven't put him at right tackle or right guard yet, especially a tackle where Austin Jackson hurt. And try to get him in a natural position, but give him time. And I'm with you, George. If he's showing success at the position he's in, Don't play with him. Sammy. Woo! Sammy. But I love that idea. I'm not against, going after the top offensive lineman or going for a Reuben Bain or whatever. I haven't skipped that idea yet. That's why I would love, like, you think about those third rounders. Doesn't mean Miami's going to use all three. Miami could package that, move in the back into the second round. They could do that and then still go get a guy who might fall. And I know, I don't want to throw names out because they'll be like, no, Bobby, not him. But I'm just saying, how it does Lennar Sellers fall. Does, Juillar. He was a lot of people had him in the first round.
Brandon Sorsby.
He could fall down into the second round. So that might be a consolation prize. Or Miami could say, hey, let's just keep building. Tua's our bridge quarterback. Let's go into next year, and then we go get the guy the year after. That could be the case. But I love, Anthony, that you did that, and I think that people should start really thinking about that.
And with our three first, honestly, and with my third round picks, I actually drafted our safety and our two corners. I got Takario Davis and DJ McKinney, and my safety is Keon Sabb from Alabama.
There you go.
You're doing the work, man. You're doing.
Because I like Deontay Trader. Is it Deontay Trader?
The safety, Dante
Trader Jr.
Yeah, Dante is a strong safety to me, to be honest. And when you look at like the way, if we keep, I want to keep this guy who's our current DC. I like what he's doing, but he needs to have, what is it called? He needs to have safeties and DBs in general that fit his scheme. I like Minkah, but he doesn't fit the prototype of the DB that he likes and stuff like that. He likes Kyle Hamilton and the guy they drafted last year, the guy from Georgia. What's his name?
Who? Malachi Starks?
Yeah, that's the two guys they like.
Yeah, Gillum. They brought Gillum in. It's really helped free up Hamilton. You saw that in the game. That's what I'm saying. We need big corners and big safeties in this defense. Yeah. I like Dante Trader, but he's really small. Yeah. Shout out to the chat, everybody in there.
Looks like Breece Hall is trying to hint at trying to move from the Jets as well.
I saw that. And Jermaine Johnson is in talks as well.
Yeah, so when Schultz said they're not over, the Jets are cleaning house.
Hey, wasn't it supposed to be a Dolphin show? What's going on here,
Jets? Hopefully we got some news here the last hour and a half. But shout out to the chat. We got over 500 people on all platforms.
Is it possible that we're doing maybe Champ Kelly is doing something where he's not releasing the information and he already has a trade set up for.
Look, you got to get what you want. You can't just sell guys to sell guys. Like,
but what I'm saying is maybe the report hasn't come out for A-Chain. Maybe he has a trade already in place, but he wants to get it complete before he releases it to press.
Anything's possible, Anthony. But here's the thing. You look at the Jets are cleaning house, but look at what they're getting in return. Of course they're going to make these deals, right? Like, nobody thought Sauce Gardner, but when you get a Laramie Tunsil type package, dude, Sauce Gardner will tell you if he needs to be traded.
And just to follow that point, with those guys, as great as they are and as great as they have been, what have the Jets done and where are they going? Nowhere. Yes. So then that's the point. It's like, oh no, I'm not trading that guy because he's too damn good and he's great. And if we get rid of him, who's the next guy we're going to get him with? Where are you going with him? You're going absolutely nowhere. So strip it down, get the assets, and go rebuild. And that's what the Jets are doing. And I agree with Lo-Fi. It's become a Jets thing, but the Jets are doing what Dolphin fans would want the Dolphins to do right now. Right. Again, they got the GM, they got the new coach. They're stripping down their stars. They got still some pieces there. I know, Garrett Wilson's still there. Does he get moved? I don't know. But again, I can't hate on what the Jets are doing. They're going nowhere, and that's why it should be entertained whether Miami trades any of their guys. Oh, don't trade him. Don't trade him. No, where's Miami going with them? Nowhere.
There's nobody on this roster that if I'm not blown away the package, I would consider moving. No one. Maybe Patrick Paul, but no one. Because it's so hard to find a left tackle. No one. And it's called foresight, Bobby. Foresight. No one to move off and no one to move off, guys. And no one Not the whole.
That's what hurt
the.
I've said this. That's what's hurt the Dolphins in general over the past 20 years. We either keep a player too long or trade them too soon.
There's nobody who wouldn't
there's
trade
never a
Sauce
middle
Gardner
ground
for the package they got. I would. There's not a GM in the league that wouldn't trade Sauce Gardner for the package they got.
And this is what hurt us with Xavier. Like, we should have traded him. What's it called? A season before his 10.
Tyreek Hill. I was calling for Tyreek Hill to be traded. That trade that done 2 seasons ago. Was it last year or was it last year? I don't remember, but last year, not 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago is when they were lighting up the league. But
hey, Jordan.
Yeah.
You want to see a match get lit? I'm going to say a name and Bobby take over. Donna Ponte. Would we be in this mess right now?
Oh, Donna Ponte. I see her name. Hey, she's a candidate. I'm begging the table for Agnew. I love the Chargers guy.
Chad Alexander, man. Chad Alexander.
I want a scouting background. I'm telling you, Agnew's got some Ozzie Newsome.
So I will say, I don't know if Lo-Fi say that because he watched the show last night.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Okay. I was live. I got to go watch it. I didn't see it.
No, you're good. It was a funny moment because I was talking about possible candidates and brought up, Donna Ponte, Catherine Hickman from the Browns. There's a lot of them out there.
It's a legitimate candidate, Donna Ponte. Yeah.
Donna Ponte is, and then it's not to say her name because I'm saying, she should be. I'm just saying her connection to Ross, her history, and she's a salary cap specialist.
I want to stay away. I'm not being sexist or anything. After what happened with Kim Ng and the Marlins, I want to stay away from a female general manager and stuff like that.
Okay, so sticking to football, and again, why she would be considered a candidate is because, again, her history with Ross, they are very close. She got better things. She's working for the NFL. And again, she has interviewed for general manager spots, and she's a salary cap specialist. She can't be ignored. That's why her name's included in those things, and especially her connection with the Dolphins. I understand, again, sticking to football, there are more candidates that I'd prefer. Again, Ray Agnew, former player with the Detroit Lions, a veteran.
Would you bring back Jeff Ireland?
Hell, no.
No, why would I bring back Jeff Ireland?
No, I would not in a million years. I want to see Jeff Ireland face ever.
Jeff
again.
Ireland is actually the general manager.
Yeah,
Ponte wasn't. That's the difference. But I think Donna Ponte stinks. And again, her history with Miami. A lot of people say I don't want to go back, but I get it.
She's high regards in the NFL circles, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. The reason why I brought up Jeff Ireland, look at what he's done with the.
We just got Anthony. We just got rid of one stench that we've been trying to get rid of for years.
No, let's hear. No, I would love to hear the reason because I think that's okay. But no, Anthony, why? What do you think? What is it?
No, because look at what he has. Not these last 2 years, but the years he's. Look at what he did with the Saints when he became their GM. He rebuilt that team. I understand he had Drew Brees, but he was able to draft. He drafted correctly. He drafted the right players to surround Drew Brees to help him win a championship and stuff like that. That's why I'm saying his track record after he left the Dolphins has been stellar. Outside these last 2 years with the Saints, he's been successful.
So I think I get what you're saying. I think it's fair, but I will say, I think Jeff Ireland one day should deserve to get another opportunity. Absolutely, not with Miami. And I'll tell you because even if he had 20 great drafts as the assistant GM and or a couple with a GM, I don't think Miami would do it. I don't think Ross would do it because obviously they're what do you want to call it? Their publicity is not good right now anyway. And if you were to go to the fans and go, we're bringing back Jeff Ireland as GM, it would be over before it even began.
Well, so what are your guys' thoughts on the two guys who are the co-assistant GMs in Tampa?
Greenberg, I like Greenberg. The only thing with Mike Greenberg is he's not much on the scouting side, more of like the cap side. I would have to bring somebody else with him underneath.
Wait, Greenberg, as in the guy who used to work for the for ESPN?
No. Mike Greenberg is still at ESPN. This is another Mike Greenberg.
Yeah, this is not Greeny. No, we're not hiring Greeny.
I thought it was the same person. Jesus Christ.
So do we take if Champ Kelly fails us and he gets no more trades, do we start calling for his head next?
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He's
just a stand-in. I'm not too serious into him.
How about Marvin Allen?
I mean, we got to take him out of GM.
He would have got pushed up. I don't think he's considered at all. I don't think he's even in discussion.
What you need to know about Marvin Allen is look who got him. That's all you need to know about Marvin. Marvin Allen won't be here next year.
How about Borgon? Wait, is Borgonzi still with the Chiefs or is he the GM with the Titans?
It's the Titans.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the GM of the Titans right now. So
Agnew's my guy, man. There's some Ozzie Newsome in there. I'm telling you, fellas, he's a player. He's a former player. He's got tons of scouting experience.
What do you think of Allerby? I want to know your opinion because I know a lot of people keep throwing that name out there. I'm going to be honest with you, and again, I'm willing to listen in on anyone.
Right? Yeah.
He's the baby face kid. I'm going to tell you, dude, because I see it reminds me a lot, and I try not to hate or be perceived as a hater, but it reminds me of Mike McDaniel, dude. I was like, don't do this, guys. I understand the Eagles, but I'm like.
I could see Ross.
Actually, I'm going to tell you what. Honestly, this is why I like the Allerby thing because, what is it called? Howie Roseman speaks very highly of the guy. He says Howie dictates who he wants, but Allerby has been the one scouting all these players that they've drafted and been successful with. So, and he's the one that has developed the day-to-day draft strategy for the Eagles. So I would want Allerby because of the faith that basically Howie Roseman has had in this guy to do everything from free agency. He's been the one signing all these free agents the last few years and doing all the drafting for the Eagles and stuff like that. Not Howie Roseman. Howie takes all the credit in the press, but he's actually done multiple interviews that say Allerby is the one doing all the day-to-day stuff, drafting all the players.
I'll just say, and I haven't seen that, Anthony. I will say he may be just saying that to get his guy a job. It happens a lot. Harbaugh does it all the time. He said the same thing about Anthony Reaver. And he might be that. He might be just, and again, it happens. But I just, it's a very, and I'm trying not to hate on it, but the way it's going about with people throwing his things, it reminds me a lot of Mike McDaniel.
How about Joe Douglas? It was like the Joe Douglas thing. Remember when Joe Douglas was being looked at for GM jobs when he was still with the Eagles?
You got to be careful.
Do you feel it's like that?
No, you got to be careful with just because a team's successful. You got to really dig into who's making the moves, what their reports are on certain guys. Because we look at a draft and this team, what was this guy's assistant GM or this guy's the scout or the director of college scouting? What was their report on this guy versus this guy? You got to really know how the operations in that building work because some people, it's like, remember when we hired Joe Philbin? Joe Philbin had nothing to do with the success of the Green Bay Packers offense. You know what I mean? But perception from the outside was, wow, they're this high-powered offense. And Joe
that was Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
That was
so you got.
That's why I kind of zeroed in.
Like when Bobby talks about the Allerby from the babyface assassin from the Eagles, you got to be careful. What's his role? Now maybe he is the guy, and maybe Howie Roseman on the personnel side is not much as maybe Allerby is, and maybe that's an advantage. But he's absolutely, Bobby, I can agree with you, a guy, if they interview him and he gets in the building in front of Ross, will be enamored with him.
Well, and that's the thing, right? They were saying, somebody wrote in the comments there, I saw it pop up was, don't be surprised if he brings back Kelly. Listen, there you go. And again, I'll just say, I think Ross is aware that he has to make the right choice, but you can't put it past Ross to do that because Ross is somebody. George, if you sat down with Ross for a certain amount of weeks, he'd make you the general manager. He'll like what you have to say. He'll go, you know what, George? How would you like to stick around?
Can we set that appointment up?
Let's set it up, right? I'm down. So,
hey,
but
George.
that's who he is. Go ahead.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on Brian? Well, Brian said in the chat, bring the group.
I'm starting to think Champ Kelly didn't like and subscribe our podcast because we have no trades at all.
No trades. Guys, and speaking of that, thanks to all the over 600 people on all platforms. Come on over to YouTube, guys. Let's get some more likes. Thanks. We got Bobby Finstock from Finstock Sport Network. We have.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on what Brian said in the chat? Like, how about bringing the Gruden brothers here, Jay and John?
No, I don't want any of that. That's just all. That's more noise over substance. He's good. Leave him on TV. He's a lot better on TV than he is as a coach. I think we're forgetting about that.
Or Kingsbury.
No, I don't want Kingsbury either. I don't know, Bobby. I'll find your opinion on those guys. Jordan.
Well,
Yeah, that's just a show I don't want to watch.
Yes.
So
I'll watch Days of My Life instead.
I will say again, I'm gonna wait until I've given my thoughts on that, Anthony. I'll wait until McDaniels finally let go to really hammer home. I would prefer an experienced coach, a guy who's been there, that's done that. I'm not really in on John Gruden as much as everybody else. You could try to sell me on him. I'm willing to listen. I won't shut you out on that. But I want that. I do want a guy who's done it. I understand. Oh, he's fired for a reason. I get that. That's why he's available. But I would want a guy who's done it. We've done the rookie coaches before. I'm not really interested in them. There's a few of them I might be, sure. And if it is a rookie play, if it's a rookie coach, I prefer a former player. I think I would like to look into those guys.
Like an Aaron Glenn or something like that.
Go ahead, George.
We got more Jet stuff. Jordan Schultz said breaking that Brees Hall wants to be traded. I'm told a little over an hour until the trade deadline, but Brees wants out. So this is a drama, and we got an hour and 10 minutes. Dolphins. Let's get active here. Bradley Chubb hasn't been moved. Minkah, Waddle. Is any of these things going to happen in the next hour? Best guess. Over under at 1.5 moves. Anthony, you start.
Over.
Bobby.
Man, I want to say over, but I'm going to say under. I don't trust my show.
Let's go over.
Yeah. For the sake of the show. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a little too quiet for me, man.
I'm going to go under because Ross picked Champ Kelly, and Champ Kelly can't get it done either.
Colin Carr wants Lane Kiffin. Oh, you mentioned that. I'm gonna go under 2, just because we haven't seen the action. I would expect at least one move to be made. I don't know about you guys, but you were talking about this, Anthony. Colin Cowherd wants Lane Kiffin to be the next head coach. Your thoughts on that? You brought it up. I don't want any of that.
No. I this is what I hate about football. Not us as Dolphins fans, but football fans in general. We blame the coach for failing in their first job, but we need to look at the context. The Raiders were incompetent, so were the Cardinals. So I don't blame either Kiffin or Kingsbury for failing in their first jobs, because look at what they had to deal with the front offices there. There was no consistent GM there with the Raiders, like guys who were competent. So I want to see if maybe they can be successful at another spot and stuff like that. But the Dolphins are not any better. Depending on who we get as our GM, I think they would look at a guy like Kingsbury or Kiffin to give them another chance. Both of them have head coaching experience in the NFL and stuff like that. And let's not forget, Kiffin was only 35 years old when he got his first head coaching job in the NFL.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Anthony, just to follow up on that. Sorry, George. So if Miami, because you're right? A lot of coaches that fail, they're in bad situations and it happens. I think you could put McDaniel in that category, right?
Yes.
So let me ask you, would you be willing? I know my answer, but I'm going to ask you because what I'm hearing you say. Would you be willing to give McDaniel another shot now that you got rid of Chris Greer, and you maybe if you get rid of Tua, would you say, hey, let's give McDaniel another year?
I've been saying this
GM
from the beginning. I want to see what McDaniel can do with actually drafting his own quarterback and developing a quarterback that he actually likes. Because I've been saying this from the beginning. When we hired, honestly, I think he was brought into Stephen Ross's office and Greer's office, and they basically told him to say what he said about Tua, because I don't think he actually believed anything he said about Tua. He was just force-fed all those narratives by Greer and Ross. to be honest. In my honest opinion, I think he was force-fed those narratives to make the owner and the GM happy and stuff like that.
Anthony, I'm going to disagree. You get rid of him. McDaniels had Tua, who's had plenty of injuries, so you had plenty of opportunities to see him with another quarterback already. So let's take the Seattle game as an example. He put Skylar Thompson in, and he tried to run the same offense with Skylar Thompson. He couldn't even recognize who's on his staff on what their skill sets are. Skylar Thompson can never do what Tua does. But what did he do? Go play Tua. And then he tried to do it with Tyrod. Who was it? Tyrod Taylor. Our other quarterback that came in, run first type quarterback. It took him 3 or 4 games to figure out, I got to do something different. He's very, very slow to react to what needs to be done. That's why we come out the second half playing exactly what we're doing in the first half, because it's going to take him 3 games to look at what went wrong.
Yeah, Ricky Sue says it sounds like the Jets have another big trading coming. That was 20 minutes. Wow.
Well, they're looking for a 3rd-round pick for Breece Hall. That's what they're trying to get. That's what I just saw. And I just want to say very quick in regards to that question in Anthony's answer, and I appreciate that he answered. But I'll say too, I don't think it's a one-person thing. I know he's like, let him have a chance with a new quarterback. He's the head coach. And the problem, again, I said this on my show, the problem with the Dolphins is not just on the field. It's not just the quarterback. It's the entire thing. It's the field. It's the foundation of the organization. It's the locker room. This team is a problem all over. And again, when you think about the locker room, you think on the field, you could start with your head coach. So I do not, and then maybe Mike McDaniel one day will be a great head coach. Leaves here, goes to another organization as the OC, builds it up. He realizes his prior mistakes, being buddy with everybody, moves on, and then gets another job. He might be really damn good. He's a good dude. We know that. But right now, he's failed as a head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Right now, he's not a leader of men. When you got guys late to meetings, when you got the drama behind the scenes, when you got the stuff, players quitting on the team last season, and you got your captains leaving, and you got the mess of this season, not just on the field but off the field. The fate of him as a head coach of the Miami Dolphins. At least if I was calling the shots, it would be signed, sealed, and delivered. I know Ross is doing it.
For me, when I look at
I would give that
the
extra
quitting
shot.
thing, Bobby, I disagree with you. I don't think the players are quitting on McDaniel. It's more they're quitting on the quarterback, to be honest.
Look, you know why the players aren't quitting on McDaniel? Because they don't want to lose the country club vibe. They got it so easy right now. I've said this. He's like the guy at work. Your manager's gone. You got the easy manager where you're on your phone all day.
Substitute teacher.
We say it all the time. And then when the real one comes back, oh crap! Now I'm sweating again. I got to work. I can't get off my phone. They're holding me accountable. I agree with Bobby. You bring back Mike McDaniel and try with a different quarterback, we're going to be having the same problem. It's nothing to do with the quarterback. He doesn't have the fabric right now to be a head coach. I watched him multiple practices in training camp, the way he interacts, how the players interact with him. They don't respect him. They look at him, they brush. It's almost like the substitute teacher. So he was brought in to be the head coach of Tua Tagovailoa, not the Miami Dolphins, and that's the problem, right?
And Bobby,
hold on.
Oh, sorry.
And then when he took over, then it's the point you got to go across the sidelines and look Jordan Brooks in the face and answer questions why these guys not showing up, why is this, and lead these men. And he's not capable of looking across the room and doing it. He's just not. And his problem goes beyond the quarterback. And he made a mistake, by the way, and Greer's paying for it. When he started this, he ran into the front office and said, we don't need offensive linemen. We need the fastest weapons, and that's how we're going to build Tua. You know what the mistake was? That was just a gimmick. That was a wildcat act that lasted for 9 games. The league caught up. He needed to build an offensive line, a strong running game, and let Tua do what he does, the ball handling, the play action, the anticipation, all those things. He messed up, actually, with the build on Tua. It worked for a short period of time, but it was style over substance. It goes beyond that with Mike. And maybe Mike, I will say this, maybe Mike in a few years, I don't think he'll ever be a great head coach because I don't think that's what's in him. But I think in a few years, he can't change. He came in here as the ultimate players guy, And coach, you can't change that in the middle of the process. Players won't buy it. Maybe you take that and you learn on your next stop, and you can start in the fresh start. That's the only hope. But go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I've talked to Bob B about this in the chat. What hurt McDaniel is he set rules too late. Like he allowed players to come in
that's
late.
That's not who he is. It's not who he is. This is who he is. You know what I mean?
Oh no. But what I'm saying is, it took him till this year to finally set boundaries with these players, and now the players don't take him seriously and stuff like that, and they feel like they can just walk over him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It took him
to scream on the sideline. I was so excited with I don't know if you know 5 about me. I was pumped when he got pissed on that 4th and 1 thing. Finally, that's what a head coach does. I mean, you guys remember everyone getting that animated on the sideline toward the players? I can't. You know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead.
Brian Flores.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about Mike. Yeah, Flores had no problem with that. Flores is the opposite. You know.
That's why, honestly, I would like to bring in Rex.
So
Anthony,
when we start looking, so one of the factors we
probably Anthony, this is hot take, Anthony. My goodness gracious, dude.
On that one.
When you start looking at who would fit for the Dolphins, you got to start looking at what Ross brings into the building. He tried a Flores experience. So any of these GM candidates that are former NFL players that have a fiery attitude might be not what Ross is looking for. You know, it might be Chris Greer-like, where it's more of a non-direct, non-threatening, because Flores obviously alpha mailed the heck out of that locker room, alpha mailed the GMs, and that didn't go very well for Flores. Obviously, Flores probably wish he could probably take some of it back, probably got really frustrated with the process, knew what he wanted to do, and ran into a bunch of roadblocks. And obviously, he didn't handle that very well and got himself,
That's why I fear we might get Albie.
Yeah, that's why what do you guys, Bobby? What do you think of Andy Weidel? I was trying to get you on your last shows if you had any info on Andy Weidel. I liked his scouting experience. He's got like 2 decades of scouting. I'm thinking draft, kind of like George, draft experience. You like Andy Weidel as a
I actually have him on
about 25 years of experience. This kind of
and he was with the Eagles. I think he's with the Steelers right now. I like him.
Joe Douglas, I think.
I think he should absolutely be considered. He's on my short list, but I love that name, man. What's up, Adrian?
So, I have a question. Are you guys saying is it Agnew or Alexander that you guys feel has an Ozzie Newsome?
Agnew. For me, that's just my opinion. You know me. I like to always, like I say, Sellers is a young gun thing. I like to always throw. If you don't know me by now, Bobby knows me. I like to throw little names in comparison, because one thing I like to do when I'm scouting a player is I have to think, have I seen this before? What does it look like, right? That's kind of how I start the process. Like, what does it look like? When it comes out of the elevator, cook, have I seen anything like this before? And that's always something I like to do.
And this is why I said, to me, when I looked at Tua from the beginning, at best, he's a souped-up Jay Fiedler. He's Jay Fiedler with more talent.
On fire.
I was going to go Chad Pennington.
I had to put my Tua's a souped up Jay Fiedler.
Have you ever heard souped up Jay Fiedler in the same sentence?
No, I've always said I always said I always said that his ceiling for me ever since he was drafted was Chad Pennington. That's who I always thought of him as.
Well, wait, Chad had a gun. Let us not do that. Chad had an arm.
No. That's why I called him Chad Pennington, because he didn't have an arm. Chad Pennington was accurate. And so he was. That's why I call him. He was. He wasn't great. He was good. He gets it to his guy. That's what everybody said. That's one thing that Tua was famous for coming out, was he was accurate. He didn't have a big arm. He never had a big arm. Tua never had a big arm.
Is what I thought he would be coming out.
Yeah.
And when I looked at Quinn coming out of the draft,
I wish Tua was a souped up Jay Fiedler. We'd win the playoff games. We'd get in the playoffs.
Jay Fiedler.
I love Jay Fiedler, man.
And when I looked at Quinn coming out of this year's draft, when we drafted him, George, the comparison I had for him is kind of a mixture of Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jake Plummer, kind of.
That's not bad. The thing with Quinn is actually, he was a guy I thought the Dolphins would draft, because Quinn actually fits finally the skill set of your starting quarterback. So instead of having these guys,
he's just bigger.
You run an offense with quarterbacks who have completely different skill sets than Skylar Thompson and Mike White, who don't get the ball out quick at all, don't throw it timing, don't throw it anticipation.
Yeah, and people blame Quinn. Like, people.
Quinn's not the answer, by the way. Quinn,
no,
if
I'm not saying Quinn is the answer, but
at
what I hated about when people criticize Quinn saying he throws in big games, when your coach outright said in the press multiple times he was already moving on from you, doesn't that screw up your confidence when your coach is already saying he's moving on to the young quarterback?
Say it again.
With Quinn, when he was at Texas.
I give him credit for people don't talk about this enough. There's a lot of pressure with Manning behind him, and we had the beat writer for the Texas Longhorns, and he told me, look, Quinn was the better quarterback there. The team believed in him. He rallied the team. People don't give him enough credit. There was a ton of pressure on kind of holding off Manning, and now obviously. So
Manning's overrated, to be honest. Man, I like Arch, but
I kind of agree with you on that. What is your guys' thoughts? Anthony, you're a draft guy. Bobby, Lofa, I don't know if you get heavy in the draft. The quarterbacks this year, I don't know if Sellers going to come out. That's my guy because I like physical traits at that position. I think we need it. I wanted Milroe last year, right? Because of that, right?
I don't like Sellers that much. Like he disappears in big games.
No, and he's a risk. I don't. Mendoza's interesting. I have to go a lot more on Mendoza. I like what I see, but I'm not, I guess, as sold. Listen, there's a lot of the times there's hype on players. Then we get to the draft. Why was this guy drafted a round or two later? Because the league, the whole time, the league thought about player X, but the media was pushing this narrative, and that's where you can't find the difference. But like Mateer, I like Ty Simpson a lot. The more I watch Ty Simpson, he's an
Alabama quarterback.
I like him a lot. Mateer, I like a lot. There's something to that Mateer kid. There's some.
I'm staying away from Alabama quarterbacks if I'm a Dolphins fan.
JC hearing Kamara to the Vikings. Is that true? Let's. We have to ring the bell here.
I'll say this. I'm going to say this, Anthony, just to respond to you, brother. I don't think anybody should be sold on anybody yet. There's still a long way to go before anybody's sold. There are guys that I like. But there are guys that I'm not going to say, I'm banging the table for this guy.
I like Sorsby. The two guys I like are Sorsby and the guy from Louisville.
I love the Arkansas quarterback. If I'm going to take a shot on a guy with physical traits and maybe in a second round.
Taylor Green?
Yeah. He's
Taylor Green is Louisville, not Arkansas.
Louisville, sorry.
He's a bigger version of when I look at him, he's
6'6", 230.
He's Cam Newton. He's Cam Newton, kind of like Cam Newton.
Sign me up for that. If he was playing at a bigger school, what do you think we'd be having a conversation about Green right now?
Yeah. No, honestly, I think Taylor Green goes back, and I think he might transfer to Miami with Shannon Dawson.
Yeah, that's the problem. No, Taylor Green's in Arkansas, not Louisville. I knew I was right about that.
No, I think he comes back. I think Green.
No, but Taylor Green is Arkansas, not Louisville, the quarterback.
Yeah, I made a mistake. No. What I'm saying is, I think those two guys go back to they have way too much development, and I think a guy like Sellers would be actually good going to Miami, because that offense is a very quarterback friendly. It's limited because of Beck, in my honest opinion.
So we are less than an hour away from the deadline. Dolphins have made no moves today. I didn't think I'd be saying this at this time. It is going to be a fury of a last hour where the Dolphins are going to sit on, I think it's a big mistake they don't move on Chubb. They can get something for Chubb.
That's what I'm asking. Do you think that some of these trades are Champ Kelly comes from franchises that know how to keep trades a secret. Maybe he has trades already in place. He just wants to wait till
we'll find out in less than an hour. I mean,
I think that's giving a little too much credit.
Yeah, these guys are too good. These two Jordan
might be
nobody's waiting. Yeah, they're not going to wait till the final minute and go, we're making these trades now.
Because they're doing multiple deals.
They're working the phones, maybe.
That's why I thought
CCR. I made a mistake. I thought Green went to.
That's all right. It's all right.
Here's the fun part: how the NFL is looking at the talent on our team. If we trade only one guy, Jalen Phillips, this whole thing, the NFL is pretty much saying, well, you have nobody that's a difference maker on your team that I'm willing to trade for. I'll wait for the offseason and grab them then when you cut them.
I just think the price, again, you don't have a Sauce Gardner to trade. You don't have a Quentin Williams, that level of player.
Would you rather have Quentin Williams or Bradley Chubb? Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I would take Quentin Williams all day.
Well, you want Rashid Douglas or Sauce Gardner? Now, the price is different.
That's right.
But you got Waddle and A-Train are probably the two highest value guys, right?
So these contenders out there are looking at Chubb and saying, that's not an upgrade. They're looking at our team and saying, Minkah, he's not good enough for his contract.
What depends what we're asking for. Remember, I was asking I know this doesn't matter, but who's going to rush the passer for us? You know what I mean? Like, we do have have you thought of that? Like, we have our resident guest, Mr. Finn Sammy.
What did I miss?
Good morning.
You didn't miss much. You missed the Jets. Look at those glasses.
I'm just hoping that the Jets hire Chris Greer as a GM. That's all I can hope for right now. Hopefully they can hire him, can waste those picks too, because Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, we've been on since about 12:15, Sammy.
I've been sporadically, touching base. I've been at work, but seeing the coverage, great coverage, great turnout from the fans, over 600 at one point. I think I saw that. That's awesome, Josh. You're doing a great job.
But what do you think? No moves, man. No moves yet.
Yeah, take it easy. Take it easy.
The Jets own the next two drafts.
Well, but they have done that kind of thing too. It's like the Dolphins. You can have all the picks in the world, but if they don't hit on the picks, they don't hit on the picks. And it's not that they're trading away bad players. Right? They basically traded the best defensive tackle in the game. So that's gotta hurt. That's taking a step back no matter what. Oh my God!
But again, like Bobby said, what did they do? What did they do with those guys? You know what I mean? Like they didn't do much with them. So the concerning part is they're going to be now the team competing with us in the quarterback market in the draft the next few years, and they got way more chips than us.
But if you were ahead of the curve, you knew that was going to happen. You knew there were always going to be a team
I don't think I knew they were going to get 2 number 1s for Sauce Gardner. I didn't see that.
No, that's either crazy or stupid. How you want to put it? Pick your poison. That's crazy or stupid. Personally, I think it's stupid, but it's also crazy.
Anthony, thank you, Anthony, for coming on. If you want to hop on again, go ahead. I know you dropped out here. We appreciate Anthony. If you want to hop on, you got the link. Just come back on. So, Sammy, what do you think is going to happen here, man?
At least I expect Chubb traded. The Dallas Cowboys were supposed to be the ones on Fitzpatrick if they didn't get in a trade. So now they made a trade. I think they're done. I don't think they're going to be as greedy to find a way to trade for Fitzpatrick. So that's basically done unless someone else comes up. But there are not a lot of teams. Maybe Seattle, someone like that. That basically think they need more help in the secondary. That could be an option, but I don't see that happening. So Chubb is the only one. But the 49ers are famous for not losing a lot of trades. So they basically stand in their ground. Maybe the Dolphins are asking for a 4th and they want a 6th. The Dolphins are asking for a 4th and they want a 6th. So we have to wait and see. I don't know, 55 minutes away.
No, less than that. 49 minutes away.
But the deal can be basically done. They can be expected to announce it. Some things that happen. I've seen trades that been the Dolphins had a trade for Brandon Marshall. That trade was consummated before the deadline, and as soon as 4-1 hit, the agents released the information, and Brandon Marshall was a Dolphin. So we have to wait and see.
I expect at least one move. You got a break. We've been asking everybody. We had a poll about Waddle. You saw last night's show with Big O and Jason. I got a lot of pushback on that. Are you in my corner, or Bobby too? Bobby's in my corner.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'm always in your corner. So
okay.
Whatever you say, George. Whatever you say. But Waddle traded, people are taking out of context what Ricky said. Ricky said that he saw the Broncos doing that kind of thing. He didn't say like other times
Yeah,
that he has information of the Broncos. That's his opinion.
no.
So, and people are making fun and running with it. But
I see the fit there for Denver, though. You know what I mean?
It will make a lot of sense. Yes.
So I mean, who's more likely to be traded? I'll ask Bobby. You guys, Chubb or Fitzpatrick? Who's more likely to be traded?
I think Bobby? That's easy, but I want to go last.
Not that easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah,
for me, I would say Fitzpatrick. I would move Fitzpatrick.
More likely, or who would you trade? Because
both. We'll do
okay.
I would trade Fitzpatrick, and I would hold on to Chubb. But I think maybe Chubb's more likely because you probably could more likely.
Exactly.
Following Bobby, Fitzpatrick would be the most likely to be traded. I think he has the most value of all the players we got still on the table.
So wait, you're saying Fitzpatrick would be the most likely?
Yes, I mean Dallas is screaming for a safety, and he's already saying there's more trades to come. So I'm still printing. Put it on paper. Fitzpatrick to the Cowboys. I'm sticking with it.
Again, if Miami ended the day trading Fitzpatrick and Chubb, that's fine. Get as much draft capital as you can. But if I had to make a choice between the two, I'd be moving Fitzpatrick, and I'm rolling with Chubb.
Let me ask you this: does it make it for you guys? Does this make it? Would you change your approach after seeing what the Jets done and loaded up on capital, or like it doesn't matter? They're way ahead of us. It's not.
Yeah, you can't compete with you may want to say we got to be more aggressive and make some moves. But again, they had Quinnen Williams. We don't have a Quinnen Williams on our team. They have a Sauce Gardner. We don't have a Sauce Gardner. Unless you're going to say, okay, what can HN get us?
But if you're saying Waddle, you're moving off. Let's say, Bobby.
I wouldn't put Waddle in that conversation.
I want a 1. But somebody's offering you a 2 and a 4. Does that change your? Do you slide? Okay, yeah, we need more ammo now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Does it? You come off the 1 and say they give it 2 and a 4, I'll do it. I guess that you get what I mean. That makes sense.
Yeah. And again, that's making a move just to make a move. I mean, it depends on how much you value Jaylen Waddle on your team. And are you comfortable with the Maliks and the Taj Washingtons and those guys behind him to step up? What's your plan with Tyreek at the end of the season? Would you roll with him again, or would you try to move him as soon as the season's over?
Another reason you want to stick with keeping him in the 1 range is that 5th-year option. You don't want to start putting into 2nd and 4th. That 5th-year option is worth a lot. So, we got Minkah even on a 5th-year option because he is a first rounder.
And the contract's not bad. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. You got him under contract.
Exactly. So it would be a tough, because I think, again, if you're going to move off Tyreek and you have Waddle here and you got him under, then it would have to take a first to move him at that point, because you're going to end up moving from Tyreek anyway.
We got 72 votes on the poll. Would you trade Waddle for a first round pick? 68% yes, 32% no. So yeah. Screw you, Sarny and Big O. The people are with me.
Oh, yeah, we got some. Sammy, Bobby, did I ask you this question? This was my question of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Is Tua's play on the field worse than his mic performance after the game? Which one's been worse this year?
You mean his post-game press conferences?
Post-game press conferences.
His quote game is lack of social awareness, I like to call it. What's worse, his on-field play?
And NFL.com has dropped Tua Tagovailoa to tier 4 quarterback. He's almost a 5.
Frankie says trade Alec Ingo. What's up, Frankie? Shout out to Frankie in the chat. Alec Ingo, what can you get? A bag of chips? I don't know.
Sammy, conditional 7th in 2029.
We're at that portion.
I want to answer a low-fi question. The play in the field is worst. It's worse because that's the only one I care about. He can say whatever he wants. If we're winning, I don't give a shit. Sorry, it'll be crap. So the one in the field is worst. I don't care if we're winning and he's playing great. I don't care whatever he says. He can say whatever, but he's playing bad. I care about that. So the plays in the field are much worse.
It's just hard. It's hard for me to listen to him. That's the problem.
It's hard to listen.
It's hard to listen.
Well, we had a whole wide of people, calendar of people who've been tough to hear this from Tyreek at the end of the start of the year, McDaniel every single time, now Tua, those press conference of the Dolphins are like, oof, it's hard.
It is hard. I'll say, again, if he was winning, I don't know how much people would care too much. It does bother me hearing him after a game. It does when we're losing and he comes out and I can't see over the offensive lineman or people are not showing it. Yeah, it really grinds my gears, to quote Family Guy. But I'll say the field issue bothers me a lot more. He has absolutely regressed on the field. And that, go ahead, Sammy.
No, I'm sorry. And Bobby. And to be fair, it's not the first time that he said that he doesn't look over, he cannot see over the line. He said it, that's 2023 season after scoring 70. But see, we're winning. Nobody cared. Yeah. Nobody cared when he said it then. But now we care.
That's why, Sammy. That's why we should take the $118 million cap hit, right? We should just cut him right now.
Go tell Fistanza to cry me a river.
No. Listen to me. Wait.
Are we allowed to? Can we do a book of famous quotes? I don't know the playbook year one. I never played in the cold year two. Should we? We might be able to make a number one bestseller.
We can have between that and the instances the Dolphins have done stupid stuff. You can do a Billy Joel song. We didn't start the fire. We can have like 20 calls of the song. It would be great.
What I will say this: I am willing. I don't know if you guys agree. I'm willing to take the cap hit next year and rip the Band-Aid off and move on from this. I know it's going to be a big dead money. Let's go young. Let's get
Sammy. We got to get George on the show, man. Evan would be going nuts. This would be Evan. You ready? This is Evan. Mike's going to be muted for a second. This is Evan. If he hears George, this is Evan.
Listen, here's why.
Even on mute is annoying. So no, I will not be there.
Two things, guys. Two things. Oh, here's another quote. I thought the NFL would be harder. From two. Two things.
I remember that after Arizona, right? I remember that.
If you draft a quarterback,
show me the money.
I'm going to answer.
Show me the money.
If you draft a quarterback, and I'm going to ask you guys in this, you think Tua can coexist with a young quarterback? Is that the type of distraction you want for him? The answer is no, right? I don't think you can do it. He's not the Alex. I said treat it like the Alex Smith situation, but he's gotten so bad and so different. He's kind of involved into this. Like, it's just gotten worse that he's too much of a distraction. Take them hit, post June 1st, eat it like the Broncos did. It'll be a record. It should be more. I admit that. Look what they did with Bo Nix. Move on. Go younger. You're going to be bad again next year in 27.
That's great. That's great if you hit Bo Nix. If you don't hit Bo Nix, you're screwed.
That's right. They had Bo Nix. I'll just say this because I've thought a lot about this because, again, as Sammy knows, we've had this debate a couple of times on FTSN, and I was by myself. At first, I was by myself.
I don't think it's
a very calm, sophisticated debate. May I add?
Yeah. I don't think this is a difficult debate, though. That's what shocks me. Where are you going next year? So if you're going to be able to take that money, it's next year you're going to need to do it. You're going to have draft picks. You're going to be young. You want to be bad again. That's why I'm in favor of.
I think. I'm going to say this because I am wholeheartedly, or I've been wholeheartedly against taking that hit. And I said, if two new guys came in here and they make that decision to go ahead and get rid of Tua and take 118, whatever it's going to be,
and you could. If pre-June 1st, I'll look up the post June 1st.
Hold on. Let me see something very quick.
Here we go again. All aboard.
All aboard, and yeah, this is good because it's good wrap.
Why are you opposed to it?
Well, let me get it. Here on. If the Dolphins released Tagovailoa this offseason, it would set a new record cap hit of $114.2 million. You could spread that out if he's designated as a post-June 1st cut with a $55.4 million in 26,
2 years,
61.6 and 27. It could be costly, but Denver did. Miami would be breaking the record. Here's my thing. Again, I understand. What is it going to do? We're going to suck anyway next year and all this, right? Oh, I actually thought it was a train. That's Sammy. That's really good. And anyway,
that's
the reason why I'm wholeheartedly against this because I'm not willing to take that hit. If Miami drafted a quarterback, you said because that's something that Evan said. He said, would we trust Tua to sit behind a rookie quarterback or another quarterback and whatever? I don't care. He's going to have to do it. He's a professional. He's a professional. We're already in. Right now we wonder who's our backup quarterback. It's Zach Wilson. It's Mike White.
Clean slate, guys.
Clean slate. Giant cap hit. Now, if we keep McDaniel, this is where I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
And Sammy, I'm going to say this:
McDaniel's
if we keep Mike McDaniel, then you go ahead and cut it. Then cut Tua. Then that's a clean slate. Because if there's a new coach in this thing with the new GM, yeah, then you could don't put yourself in a deeper hole. Because Tua's going to want to play nice because he has he's another contract year coming. He's going to want to go to another team. If he starts stirring shit up, stuff while he's on the Dolphins with a new, they're not going to want him. The injury concerns, the regression on the field, and now drama in the locker room. He's not going to want it. So, the way I would feel really good about that, or not feel good, but I'll be okay with it if McDaniel remains the head coach, because then that's going to be the drama, McDaniel and Tua and all this whatnot. Right. So that's what I would do it. Other than that, I don't want to do it. No.
I'm gonna explain. Here's my point. If you hire a new GM and he wants to keep Tua or McDaniel, you've absolutely made the wrong choice. We will see you again doing this show in 3 years from now. The right GM, under no circumstance, has Mike McDaniel or Tua Tagovailoa on his roster. Bill Zito, Jonathan Huberdeau. Those are the moves you make when you have the right GM. They're uncomfortable, but they're right. You can take that cap hit. You're not going to be good the next 2 years. I think it needs to be a clean slate completely. Who cares? How much dead money do we have on the cap right now currently?
Exactly, and you still got to get rid of Tyree. It doesn't make any sense. Now, getting rid of McDaniel, I'm with you. If you keep McDaniel, you're doing the same thing. But Tua is a different story. It's a player. You put him, you make him your back. Now, guess what? You have a starting quarterback. Your quarterback gets hurt. Tua comes in. Now you don't have no question about your backup spot.
All right,
and you're not keeping him long term. You're not going to keep him long term. You move him after the year. Go ahead, Sammy.
I've seen in over how many years of watching football. Lot worse quarterbacks than Tua traded.
Okay.
You can't tell me you're not going to find, even if you eat part of the contract, you're not going to find anyone. So why cut him and take the hit when it's easier to trade him?
Sammy,
if you're going to do something, trade him. But cut him. Why?
Obviously, this is based off if you can't trade him. Obviously, you would trade him first.
But that should not even be a scenario because someone's going to trade for Tua. If you really want to, someone's going to trade for him. And you had Tyreek also. You had to call both.
I think that's the most likely scenario. Like you said, I'm going off the scenario where nobody wants to trade you. Your back's against the wall.
By the way, you don't want to hear my scenario right now because my scenario as of today is they're keeping Kelly as the GM next year with Mike Daniel. We'll see what happens to Tua. I think that's the plan.
Zero chance that happens, Sammy. They're not.
We'll see.
They're not.
We'll see.
Zero chance.
You listen too much to Big O. You listen too much to Big O, George. You listen too much to Big O.
No. This has nothing to do with Big O. This has nothing to do with Big O. This is something I heard. 3 days ago. Okay. And I'm telling you, there's zero chance that they're keeping Champ Kelly. But anyways, we'll bet on it. We'll have a friendly bet.
I don't bet, but
you guys think they're keeping Champ? Bobby, you honestly think the percentage of
Stephen Ross, really? You think there's no chance Stephen Ross does that? Stephen Ross.
Percentage Champ Kelly's back next year. I'm putting it at 0.
I'll say 30%. 30%.
I have it higher. Way higher.
Now they're gonna clip this if I'm wrong. Don't clip this, guys. But I'm saying.
I'm gonna clip it. I'll have Fix TV the day after next draft for sure. You better believe I'm gonna have it. You better believe it.
No fight.
I'll say 20, 30, 20%.
Listen.
I'm gonna go 50-50.
Exactly. At least 50-50. Just it's a Stephen Ross.
I'm going 50-50. I mean, he could go back and retain the same job he had before.
That's why you can't put it past Ross. Like I said, George, go have dinner with Stephen Ross. You're going to be one of the candidates for GM of the Miami Dolphins. It will happen, bro.
You guys are all hired, by the way.
There you go. There you go.
I'll do the firing part.
I'm not saying that what you're saying is the correct rationale. I will clean house right now. I would.
Oh, they have.
We're talking about Stephen Ross, and Stephen Ross had trouble hiring GMs, hiring head coaches. He's not gonna do that.
If he announces Mike McDaniel's coming back, then I'll raise my percentage. I just don't think Mike's coming back. But if
Mike McDaniel's coming back, it's because Kelly is coming back before that.
You're not going to hire a good candidate Champ Kelly's probably the best candidate you can get if you're bringing Mike McDaniel back.
Which, by the way, is not a bad candidate. Actually, it's not a bad candidate. I'm not saying it's the best candidate,
Not the right one,
but a bad candidate? Not the right one. Agree, but not a bad candidate. He's going to be a GM somewhere else.
If you're bringing Mike McDaniel back, and in that scenario, you're not going to get the top candidates out there. So, yes, he probably is the best candidate qualified if you bring Mike back. I don't know if Mike's coming back.
Well, we got to have to grade Champ Kelly in about 30 minutes on his draft. Our trade deadline. So far, I'm giving him a D on his ability to move and give us some ammo for next year. You guys think he's going to get someone in the next 30 minutes?
I think somebody's going to get moved. Again,
I think Chubb probably gets moved here in the next.
But I'll say, I'm sorry, George. I'm going to head out and get back to work myself. But I think we'll see at least one deal. Again, it's got to probably be Bradley Chubb more than likely. Even though I think, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Minkah. I think it should be Minkah. But this was awesome. I want to do this again. I love the debate. Glad Sammy again was on with my back on this one with the whole Tua.
Come on, let me know. We'll talk. I'll come on Finstock Sports Network. We'll make an appearance.
Oh man, I would love that, brother. We'll talk. We'll talk for sure. Lo-Fi, awesome to be on with you. Sammy, great to see you, brother. And George, as always, my man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Later.
All right, my brother. Look at Sammy looking so damn cool, man. Hold on. I want to say this. Wait, I want to bring this before Sammy goes on another rant.
My next rant is going to be in the car because I want to start hitting in the car. So I'm going to go out, but I'll be back in like 10 minutes from the car.
Okay, go. You want to do my rant first or then go?
Please do your rant. See, I need that for sure. I'm going to leave without that.
McDermott needs to go. And then he says, history says Rob will keep Kelly. One of the blah, blah, blah. Ross reportedly wants McDermott long term. Here's the thing. Here's where I get it. Publicly, he's saying all the right things, Sammy and Lo-Fi to McDaniel, and I said this earlier in the show. But like privately, if it's based on the success of this team. Now they haven't traded guys, but they traded Phillips already. If they trade less of these guys, it might make more sense. But if he's willing to give the green light to move on these guys, that's going to make the team worse. So it just seems like publicly he's saying one thing about Mike, and then privately he's kind of setting him up for failure. I don't know. That's kind of Sammy.
Unless that he's already on the, you're safe. You're safe. Yeah. You're right. Like I said on Fist TV last Tuesday, you're safe. You did what you could. We asked you to keep Boyer. You did. We asked you to try to fix Tua. You did. You're off the hook. I don't care. We're not gonna clean house because no matter what happens, you're still on for next year. And the plan could have been Kelly would have been the GM next year. Yeah. And no matter what, and Greer no matter what. I have no idea, to be honest.
And he could have said, "Hey, look, give me a chance with a quarterback of my own. I did what I did for Tua for you. Give me a chance." So that's. All right, get to your car, Sammy. Come meet us back here and
give me like 10, maybe fine. Less. I'll go in the car. I'll have road rage from you in the car. Give me a couple of Bye.
George, in a sane world, McDaniel's gone, but we're in insane times. So you got Ross running the ship. Anything's on the table. I mean,
wow, Lo-Fi, yeah, I agree, man. We're 30 minutes away from the deadline. Boy, this is flown by, Lo-Fi. Thank you so much, man, for sticking around with me on this. It's flown by. This has been a fun show, man. Shout out. We almost have 700 people on all platforms, guys. We appreciate it so much. Come on over to YouTube. Get in the chat. Even if you want to hop on, we got 30 minutes left to the NFL trade deadline. Dolphins haven't made any moves. The Jets have been active. They traded Sauce Gardner for 2 1s and A.D. Mitchell. They traded Quentin Williams for, was it a second and a one? No, yeah. Was it a first and a second for Williams? Lo-Fi, if I'm not mistaken.
It was 2 1s.
For Quentin Williams.
That was just a 1, I believe.
Just a 1 and 27, correct. So they've acquired 3 first-round picks. Dolphins haven't done anything yet. And, guys, thank you for almost the 700 people we have on all platforms. Guys, hit that thumbs up. Let's see some more likes. We do accept super chats, by the way. I know I don't say that a lot because, and again, this stuff doesn't go in our pocket. It's just to help pay for what it does, the cost to put on the channel. But I got to mention that. I've been told that I don't do it a lot. So we do accept the
Blade's got a fun comment. The Ramsey riff should have been the warning to us all was coming. But if you really think about who the coach was at that time, it was Vic.
They made the decision. Vic was the coach.
So you think about it. Ramsey
right
didn't
there,
like the way he was being played, and he voiced his opinion. And something must have happened in that whole scenario because Vic was the first one out the door. Probably he probably tried to set things straight, but probably our career McDaniels, he's probably like, yeah, these guys can't even let me put Ramsey in his place. You know, Ramsey was pretty much took over the team as soon as Vic left. It was Ramsey's defense. You know, he's such a strong alpha. It's going to take a really good coach to keep him under wraps. And that coach bolted.
You know what's funny with all about that is we're always on the wrong side. We make decisions and we're always on the wrong side. Like Vic Fangio's been in this league who forgot more football than any of these guys know. Like he was the whole Cam Smith situation, like he was gonna bench Cam Smith because he didn't like him. No, because he couldn't play. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the problem. It's a great point by Blade. The Ramsey Riff should have told us. There's a lot of things that should have told us that this was coming. Again, less than 30 minutes away from the deadline. Anything out there? I'm checking Twitter, Lo-Fi. Anything out there that's late breaking?
Yeah, last time I looked, I heard birds, heard crickets.
So am I crazy to think that there's no chance Champ Kelly comes back? Why do you say it's 50-50? Just because?
Well, I mean, he had a different role to begin with. So does he just return back to that role that he was currently doing in the next administration? I mean, so there's that job, and it doesn't have to be GM. So that's why I kind of put it at 50-50. Does he get promoted to GM, or can he retain the prior job? Because knowing Ross, he's going to bring in some young gun first-time GM, and he's going to need some veteran support. And does Champ Kelly fit that veteran support? So that's why I put it at 50-50. I mean, that's how we end up with McD, because he's innovative and
what do you think
different.
McDaniel coming back? 50-50 as well?
In the sane world, he shouldn't be back. He should be seeing the door. I mean, I think there's plenty of evidence of what you got in McDaniels. I don't think letting him pick a quarterback, which he probably doesn't get the opportunity to do in the draft. Otherwise, you know, maybe in the later rounds he might have an opportunity. But does free agency is his guy in free agency? You know, and do we even have the money to get that guy out of free agency? Because we're seeming to have a little trouble getting rid of some contracts now. Looks like we're waiting maybe till the end of the season to get rid of some of these contracts. You go try and steal Daniel Jones. You try and do what some of these other teams do and take a former first round pick that's available and try and plug him in for a year and see if we can do a Sam Darnold or a Daniel Jones type year. So, I mean, there's a lot of options as we start moving forward, but McDaniels and Tua, we're gonna have trouble getting rid of Tua. You guys were talking about trade. I don't foresee a trade. I think it's going to end up becoming one of those we're playing him or cutting him. I can't picture what team wants to pick on Tua.
If we pay for a lot of that contract and we're going to eat the money, but we get something back. Remember how we traded? I mean, this is going to be on a much larger scale, but
I mean, what are you getting? You're getting.
I mean, what if you pay a significant amount and they give you a fourth round pick back? I mean, like,
can Tua play offense? I mean, his first 2 years was not very good in a traditional set.
If you're getting him at a bargain price, and if you're already decided you're going to move on and you're going to cut him regardless, you might want to do it. I mean, I don't know. It's complicated. I think. Look, there's also the fact that he could ask out. Like, I don't think that's crazy. You know,
that would be amazing.
Because I mean, I don't know how much that changes things, but you know, there is a strange relationship in that building with Tua. I think the organization. I've said it many times. The organization is, I think, quietly kind of turned the tide. They've kind of. They would babysit him and coddle him, and he wouldn't have to answer to anybody. I think those days are over. I think the organization's kind of realized that his tenure and the future long-term of this quarterback position is not anymore. So,
so I think he doesn't move because of the way they handled him is another reason why he doesn't get moved. If you think about what next person has to deal with is, oh no, we have to play the offense this way. We have to do things that way. This is how I see things. This is how I do things. You have to have a specialized offense. I mean, San Francisco, maybe he could fit into a San Fran type offense. You know, that'd be a parallel maybe. But is anybody going to?
Somebody mentioned it. Was it Evan or somebody mentioned? Minnesota would work for him, but they have Brian Flores there. So let's caught up everybody what happened today as far as some of the trades, the big trades. Basically, it's been the Jets day. They traded Sauce Gardner to the Colts, if you're just joining us, for 2 first-round picks and wide receiver A.D. Mitchell. Then they go ahead and trade Quentin Williams to the Cowboys for another first-round pick, that one in 27. So the Jets have 2 number ones this year, 3 number ones next year. It's kind of very similar to what the Dolphins had in that 2021 season. Dolphin fans probably a little envious of all the draft capital now because there are 2 teams with parallel kind of visions as far as rebuilding the draft and also looking for a quarterback. Sammy, what's up, man? How's the streets of San Juan, Puerto Rico treating you this afternoon?
Busy. Rush hour here in San Juan, so you know what it is.
22 more minutes. We need a deal. We deserve a deal for this deadline show. I need to hit the bell. I need a Dolphins deal here, man. Regardless if they don't make a deal, this Lo-Fi is an MVP. Sticking this out with me. This has been such a blast. I'll be honest. Better than I expected. But we want a deal. We deserve one deal. So what is your percentage of McDaniel coming back, Sam? I didn't hear that one.
Right now, 50-50. 50-50.
Okay. A lot will have to depend on the rest of the season, correct? Or you think it doesn't?
Yeah. I think it's the same thing. You know, it's Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross is the same one who's being accused of offering money to Brian Flores to lose games just to get a higher draft pick. So you know, if Stephen Ross basically is content of trading everyone and you know leaving everybody out to dry, he's basically leaving Mike Mandel out there to his own luck. So either he trades everybody and says, "Well, Mike, we're tanking right now, so you know, hold steady." Or they don't trade and give Mike Daniel a chance to survive. Either one of those we'll kind of know about in 20 more minutes. We'll see.
Yeah, it's good. I'd be shocked if they don't make one move at least. I mean,
what would be your level of disappointment if we don't get a trade?
The Waddle thing, I think you get a better chance if you really want to trade Waddle, which I don't. But if you really want to trade Waddle, I would wait until the offseason because
I'm fine.
When you have more teams competing for Waddle.
Yeah.
That would be.
Unless what happened with the Jets when they got blown away by an offer with Sauce Gardner. I'm not saying 2 first rounds, but unless a team gives you something where you just can't say no, I agree with that. I'm not here to put the for sale sign on.
The question would be, what would be that scenario? What's the scenario that basically says you cannot deny it? A first and a second, would that do it? Would that be
if you offer me a first, I'm doing it.
I need more than that because I think we can get if we really want to. And it's been said that Waddle's contract is not a bad contract.
It's not bad. No, it's not bad.
So basically, that's an asset. When he's there for a couple more years in the contract, it's a good contract. So that should entice a couple of teams. You know, you had a bad contract, that's more difficult. But he's young, he has a good contract, so. You know, you have leverage. You have leverage as the team wants to trade him. So it will have to take a lot.
So
I wonder if there's any news out there on what Waddle thinks about his situation. He seems to play a very professional. He does seem like he does get a little emotional on the field a little bit. He does show some signs of frustration. Does he want out of Miami?
It doesn't strike me as him being that kind of guy. I do like Waddle in that sense. He's a hardworking. He's quiet, actually, really hardworking. I like everything that Jalen's about, you know. But again, kind of like the Jet, like you say, you know, has this worked, you know, under what the current regime and current roster we have now? Has this worked? Now you could say maybe Jaylen Waddle's not the problem, but Sam, he's injury prone. You know, look at the poll. We got 80 votes, 69% yes. They would trade him for a first round pick. So Sammy, what is it going to take? A first and a what? Fourth?
A conditional second.
You're not getting that. But I guess.
No, you're not. That's basically why. I will not trade him. You will have to blow me out of the water. I will not. The contract is not a bad contract. It's a young asset. He's a character guy. We had not a problem, not a beep in Miami. So, you know, I would take a lot for me to trade him. So you have to make an offer. Like that time that Artoso was traded and he said, I would trade myself for that offer. Basically the same thing. Someone that say you can't deny that.
Like what they just got for Sauce Gardner. Right?
I really don't put Waddle as a huge.
That's either crazy or stupid.
Really don't put Waddle as a huge injury concerns. Why I say he's not a huge injury concern is Tua does like to float some balls. Waddle does do some jumping himself, but he does throw some murder balls out there. And quite a few of those times when Waddle had to come out, he went for the ball. He played fearless and pretty much jump for the ceiling and got murder balled a few times in his career. I mean, Tua was pretty notorious to have both balls float on him, especially early in his careers. It looks like it's gotten better, but he does every once in a while, kind of like we saw what Ewers did to Waddle, where he threw that murder ball and just set him up for a big rib shot.
Yeah, but having said that, that's also a dangerous thing about Waddle. Waddle is a guy that gets hurt, and you think he's out of the game, and a couple of snaps later, he's there back. So
here's your point to that.
That's the kind of guy I want on my team. The kind of guy that he's hurt, but goes back in. So you cannot put a pressure. You're gonna put a price on that. So that's the kind of guy I want. That's the kind of guy Dolphins are always saying we need more guys like that. So I don't take an answer like that. So again, we will have to take a lot.
Here's to your point. Here's his games played, because there's a perception that he gets hurt a lot, but he's real tough. He played. I'll go down the list from his rookie year in 21. 16 games played, 17 games played, 14 games played, 15 games played, and 9 games played this year, which they played 9 games. So he's at least played in 14 games every season. Now, I will say, one thing, and he has no drama, but, man, he's got to catch the ball with his hands more. His body catching thing drives me crazy.
Dead passes and
I think Sammy just caught one of Tua's balls.
Yeah, Tammy, they shut him off.
Did Tua throw you the ball, Sammy? What happened?
Cap, brother, what's up? No trades yet, man.
Yeah, I think we got the same mobile phone provider, bro. This is freaking horrible over here, bro.
You sound better, man. Thank you. We're still on, man. We're taking it up to the 4 p.m. deadline. Thank you for joining us.
Excellent. Yes, I'm looking now, bro. The Jets. What, they get 2 first-rounders for Sauce?
And then they got a first-rounder for Quinn Williams. They got 3 to the Cowboys. Quinn Williams to the Cowboys. Adrian, what's up, brother? Let me know you want to hop on, Adrian. I'll send you the link. But yeah. So the Jets they added 3 number ones. They got 2 1s this year and 3 1s next year.
So are we gonna let them surpass us to get Mendoza, and then on top of that, get offensive linemen to protect I mean, what the hell are we gonna do? Are we gonna let the whole AFC East overpass us, bro?
Yeah, we don't have the weapons. We don't have the weapon. We don't have the players to compete.
That's what I'm saying, George. You gotta sell, bro. Sell.
We don't have a Quinn Williams or Sauce Gardner. We got Waddle, maybe, and what are you gonna get? Maybe they're not offering. I'm not giving away Jaylen Waddle, right? So maybe what's going on is nobody's offering. Like, I have to have a first round pick if I'm going to sell Jaylen Waddle at the trade deadline, or I wait till the offseason. A-Chain is somebody I'm not going to sell right now, but if you blow me away with an offer, I'd consider it. But the concerning part is, you mentioned it. And I've said it a bunch of times in the show. They're in a rebuild like us, and if we're not picking one, and somebody else is, and they want the quarterback, they're going to get it over us because they got a lot more poker chips on the table than us, Cap.
Bro, I swear on everything that is holy, if the Jets surpass us this upcoming season record-wise, and we're still in the bottom of the barrel, bro, I don't know if I'm going to become Super Saiyan Troll, but I swear to you, bro, they will hear us, bro. If they let the Jets surpass us, bro. That's all I got to say.
Well, look, hopefully, like Sammy said, hopefully they hire Chris Greer to make those.
Yeah.
Because again, you got to do the right thing with it. We've seen more than anybody we know as an organization that when you can have all those picks, but you got to do the right thing with them, and that's going to be the question with the Jets. But yeah, again, man, we're less than 15 minutes away from the trade deadline, and I haven't hit the bell yet for the Dolphins. So, Cap, are we going to see something, man? Give me the guy you think will be dealt if they do anything.
Oh no, I'm curious to know what Sammy thinks, because for me, you already know my thought process. Blow it up. I need to know what Sammy thinks on this one, bro.
I don't need to know.
Because you already know. That's why, because you already know.
I don't need to know.
I think we should trade Chubb Robinson and say it. That's why.
Wow.
Is he
I'm
hurt?
kidding. I'm just teasing George.
That's interesting.
That's his guy.
That's
for
not
me,
my
Chubb
guy.
will be-
Oh yeah, I like him, but it's not my guy.
Now it's not your guy. Patrick Paul is on the table. A-Chain is on
No,
the table.
Patrick Paul's not on the
Waddle's on the
table.
table for me, and Waddle's on the table.
Oh, they said Patrick Paul's on the table. I'm like, I'm not trading Patrick.
No,
Paul.
off the table.
Oh.
Those are my guys who are off the table. A-Chain, Waddle, Patrick Paul, and Chubb Robinson. Nobody's gonna trade for Kenneth Grant, so I'm not gonna include it. But everyone else is on the table for me. I will trade anyone for a correct offer. It's not a fire sale. I would not give it for Chubb liver, but everyone will be good enough for me.
I mean, I'd put
Right
Patrick
now-
Paul up for sale.
I just think it's hard. Look, his pass blocking wasn't good in the last game, but like he's too hard. It's too hard to find a quality tackle like that. That's why those guys go in the top 10.
Teams that have moved on from moving the left tackle for a trade has been hunted for years. That includes the Dolphins. Every time you had a left tackle, you trade him away. You've been hunted every single time. Happened to the Redskins when they traded with the 49ers, and now you're seeing, Larry Tunsil's been traded, and the defensive line for the Texans still the same. It happens. Left tackles are not easy to come by.
Let me say Patrick Paul's trending in the right direction, but if you really look at his body of work, it's pretty much average. He's kind of grading out and average, which is amazing on our offensive line. He's grading average because everybody else is grading.
I don't know what the end game of Patrick Paul is yet, but he's done enough. I need to let him get.
Yeah, I would assume with that beast,
I'm not a fan of grading. I'm not a fan of grading.
Here's the other thing. You can't get, like you said, a left tackle, then you got to replace him. Even if you're acquiring draft picks, you got to replace a player that's going to be better than him. And for that position, it's really hard. You're going to have to pretty much invest a high draft pick at that position. So, yeah, Blade says, Waddle, A-Chain, Paul, Jonah, Grant, Chop, not available. I would agree with that. Man, 10 minutes left. We're about to hit the 10-minute mark.
I think Minkah might be gone. That's only it for me. I think everybody else is pretty much like how you said it. Pretty much they're going to look for next year. But if they don't do anything, I think Minkah's been looking like he wants to get the hell out of here.
And I would trade him for sure. I would trade him.
He's looked. I don't know about you guys. He's one guy I said. I forget whose shows I was on. I said they asked me what player would be a guy that you think is going to disappoint. And I said Minkah because I think our expectations were too high on him. He's not that same player. There's a reason an organization like Pittsburgh is willing to move off him. I always say when a really good organization trade you somebody, there's a red flag. Beware why. He's been fine. He hasn't been the same player. He's been okay. But the whole scenario was weird when he got here. It took him like weeks to talk until he got his money. Then he spoke. He just doesn't look comfortable here.
Yeah, it was awkward, man.
Yeah.
But either way, if you trade Fitzpatrick now, you're going to get more than what you would have if you trade Ramsey for it. So it's going to be a win. If they do it today, they still won the trade.
A Rasul, you can't get much, but a Rasul Douglas can help a team in the play. If you just want to get as many chips as you can, there will be a team calling for Rasul Douglas and offer you a 6th-round pick.
Yeah. You heard Joe Rose this morning, George, talking about Rasul?
We'll say that again?
You heard Joe Rose this morning talking about the acquisitions that are inquiries for Rasul?
I didn't hear Joe.
Yeah, they were asking for that Rasul, Chubb, Minkah. Majority of the guys that are on the end of the contract. You know what I mean?
Rasul will help a team that needs a playoff team. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, we got the majority of the guys we got for 1-year guys that we signed in the offseason anyway. So I would say sayonara to the majority of this whole roster.
Yeah. And I agree. And Rasul, somebody might get desperate and really needs cornerback help and give you a 5th. It's not out of the question. And this matter. When you need trips to move up and around, those are not as valuable, but they're poker chips. You know what I mean? And that's how they're lottery tickets. You get as many as you can. Go ahead, Sammy.
Call me crazy, but I would rather trade a 6th-round pick for Rasul Douglas and 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner right now because
Yeah, he's gone anyway. It's 1 year, right? He's gone regardless.
I roll with it. It's a less risky. It's a 6th-round pick. You basically getting a corner that's playing okay. Rather the money you have to pay Sauce Gardner and 2 first-round picks.
Man, I'll tell you.
Never made that trade.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm surprised how well we were worried about the corners. Like Rasul Douglas. I mean, he's been. I don't know. You guys disagree? He's been.
No, the secondary's been they've been serviceable, bro. And Jack Jones, I think Jack Jones has been okay, but he's getting pissed off too. He's getting frustrated too. He wants out.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are none of these guys are future starters for the Dolphins. I mean, Rasul, if everything went wide, you can get him on a low deal. You bring him back to kind of just fill the spot, okay? But because he kind of fits. But again, it all depends on what scheme you're running. What coaches do you have? What defense are you running? I mean, everything's off the table for this new season based on who's the general manager hired, what coach do we have? Is it Mike? Is it a new one? Is it a defensive coach? You know, what kind of scheme do they run? All those questions will be left in the offseason. But Rasul's a guy. Bleach says he'd keep Brew, Sealer, and Brooks. I'd listen on Sealer. I know it's crazy. I said I'd listen on him.
So where are you guys at with Weaver? I mean, he had a terrible start to the season.
I was never as high on Weaver as everybody else. I didn't think he was this gimme coaching candidate. You know what the red flag for me was? When Baltimore went with Zach Orr over him.
Bro.
He was already there, and they let him go.
Look, have you guys heard of Frozen Fin Fan? Have you guys ever been on his podcast?
I've heard of him, never been on it.
Frozen Fin Fan. He lives in Alaska. He's a firefighter. He's a diehard Dolphin fan, and he's
been in my chat. Yeah.
Yeah, great guy, bro. He did the breakdown of and pretty much went at it with Chat GPT and challenged Chat GPT and said, where is this defense going? Yeah, I know. Where is this defense going overall throughout Dolphins history? The Chat GPT answered him back that this defense is on track to be the most historically worst defense in Dolphins history.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's with Weaver, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys, but I think adios, muchacho.
If I'm Mike McDaniel, I pray and my host stay. I pray Weaver every single day for his commitment, for his leadership. He's done the best he can do with his work because he's like if he signs a head coach elsewhere, Dolphins get 2 third-round picks. So I will praise him to the moon. I don't care if this is the worst defense in Dolphins history. I will be praising him to the moon just to see if he can get a head coach.
I do think the defense will get better this year. It's already trending that way. I do think they'll figure it out. He doesn't have, to be fair, the personnel maybe he wants, but yeah, I think I'm going to.
I think I'm going to agree with
that. And I'm going to think out of the box here. I want you to humor me for a second. I'm just going to think out the box here.
Go for it.
Would you guys consider even trading our head coach if it was possible?
Trading for a head coach? I'm not a fan.
No, yes, I would. I've been the
I mean, Sean Payton. I'm usually not a fan of, but at this point, we're pretty much all options on the table. It depends what,
I want John Harbaugh. I'm a record saying I will trade something.
The Baltimore one? The Harbaugh from the Ravens would be nice. What would you give up for him?
Head coaches, well, we already gave up the first and a third for a coach we didn't get. That's how much the league values.
First round picks, no.
Harbaugh, whatever you want.
Usually head coaches gather a first round pick. Usually, the Dolphins are going to have a high first round pick. So the first round pick is off the table. But
yeah,
historically,
I give you one of those thirds. No, we have one of those 3 thirds.
Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah. No.
You have to.
All right, guys. 4 minutes away from the deadline. 4 minutes away. Now, I don't know.
It's a wrap.
I don't know if it's like the MLB trade deadline where deals get announced right after. So we'll stay with you guys until we get the word. Dolphins didn't make any moves.
It's happened before. It's happened before. Brandon Marshall was announced the minute after the deadline. So it's happened before.
There was another point that Joe Rose brought up this morning, and he was saying pretty much too that if we don't trade people today per se, we can do it right at draft night or the day before draft night.
Yeah.
Waddle, Fitzpatrick, they're all tradable. They're all tradable because they have no guaranteed money. At least Fitzpatrick doesn't. Chubb, I don't think does. So They can train.
I just want to shout out the over 700 people we have on all platforms here.
Nice.
On this trade deadline frenzy. We appreciate everybody in the chat has been. Lo-Fi especially.
Join us for Fizz TV tonight at 8 p.m., George.
Shameless plug. I got you. Let me. What was I going to say? Yeah. So everybody in the chat, we appreciate. Lo-Fi has been with me since the start. We've had Kadeem from Go Time, Cap, Anthony was here, obviously Finn, Sammy. Guys, make sure let's get some more likes in this video. Send people in the chat, share it, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff that we're supposed to say that I've gone a while not saying in this show, but we appreciate it, honestly. This was an idea I had, and it's been, even though if we make no moves, it's been a blast. I'll say that. I hope you guys enjoyed as much. 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes.
We got pre-ending champ Kelly grades. This is his first moment in Dolphins history that he's going to be remembered by. What do we grade him at, guys? If we get nothing in 2 minutes and all we got is a Phillips trade.
I mean, I don't know. I would have to know what he's asked for, what was offered. I believe they didn't move off him if the price, just because they didn't get the price. So I don't know. Right now, I guess a C, because I do like the value of the Phillips trade. I think you got the best you could for him. So right now, a C. I agree there with the F. I'm going F. This is your moment, and you failed. F. You traded one guy. We need a lot more than that. You got surpassed by the Jets in all which ways, and we're no better tomorrow.
Yeah. To be fair, the quality of the player that the Jets were trading away is much better. So that's one, and two, you need two to tango. When everybody knows you're selling at bargain prices, or you're stuck and you have to sell. Yeah, teams are not gonna offer the great offers to the Dolphins. You don't want to. If he does the trade, just do the trade, then we'll give him an F because he do a horrible trade. So that's not fair either. So
I guess I'm a tough manager. This is my expectations.
What is the league? What is the league think about Waddle?
Because you know your expectations, but to be fair, you don't know what the offers on the other side are, and teams probably know that the Dolphins are trading away assets. So the offer should be very low. If you take the low offer, then we're gonna burn him because he took the low offer. So
well, does this say anything about the league's expectation? How the league feels about Waddle, right? We have one perception. I always say, Sammy, we evaluate in a vacuum. Maybe, nobody was willing to pony up that number one. And hold up, 4 p.m. trade deadline is here. 4 p.m. I didn't think we'd ever get here, Lo-Fi. 4 p.m.
What time you start, George?
12:15. All right, so let's wait now and see if anything comes through the wire here. As of right now, the Dolphins made no moves. We'll stay live until usually you'll get a tweet from like Barry Jackson or somebody saying Dolphins made no trades. So let's look out for that. Deadline's here. Now there still could be something that comes in after. It happens in baseball. But if they don't make any moves, man, what a bummer. I'm disappointed. And it gives. I'll tell you, for Sammy and all these guys that think Mike's coming back, it helps his case because I think the rest of the season means something to Mike McDaniel. But man, it'd be disappointing. Luckily, we did this show because it would have been me checking Twitter all day and nothing happened. Man. All right, so let's look up how disappointed are you guys? How disappointed are you, Cap, if nothing happens here?
It's pretty much, it's status quo moving forward, man. Like I didn't really think we were gonna go, balls to the wall. We never done it before, and we're not gonna do it with an interim GM. So that goes to show you what they think about Champ Kelly moving forward. If they're not gonna let him, get more groceries. So it's just a wait and see game at this point. I mean, I want us to succeed. I want us to win. But they got to show that they want it. And right now, if they're not trading to get people to help us and they're not doing anything, then we just have to wait until the season's over.
So Connor Hughes reported that Dolphins did listen to offers and take calls for Waddle. They wanted a first-round pick plus, I'm told. That was too rich for most receiver-needing teams. Looks like Waddle was not getting moved. The Chargers did trade. Acquired Trevor Penning from he plays for the Saints, I think. He says Chargers acquiring Trevor Penning from the Chargers. The Chargers get some offensive line help. So Penning was a guy I liked coming out of the draft years ago, but man, what a tough break for them. All gone and Slater. And Adam Schefter said 20 minutes ago that some folks this morning doubted the Dolphins would deal Bradley Chubb. So all the talk about this team getting the green light looks like maybe they didn't do much of it or anything at all as we're looking here. Any I didn't think I thought Chubb would definitely be moved. Are you surprised that people doubted you? Is it because they have no other rushers? Like, what do you guys think? Is it because there's no other pass rushers on this team? Anybody? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Lo-Fi.
No,
I think I'm going to change.
I think
I'm gonna change my name from Lo-Fi to Bo-Cry. You know, we got to change Cap for life to Cap twice.
No, I think, Lo-Fi, I think the Jets pretty much cock-blocked us on every move going forward. And, you know, pardon my French, but that's what they pretty much did. They knew that we were trying to get rid of edge rushers. They unloaded their edge rusher to get a first-rounder. They pretty much did what we wanted to do.
Exactly.
Now, if it works for them, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be the headlines for the next upcoming draft. They got something to talk about. We're going to be having to watch them very closely to see what we have offer, where we can slip in, see who we can get. It doesn't quarterback draft. Ooh, it's not looking pretty right now.
I mean, and to be fair, like we've all said, you know, we didn't have a Sauce or Quentin Williams to trade. So and it looks like they were offered for the first, and even more. I don't even think anybody offered a first. If anybody offered a first for him, they would have got something back. They would have got something. A third or a fourth wouldn't have been the turning point. They would have got it done if somebody was truly offering it first. I think it would have got done. I just think maybe that tells you what the league. Ben Albright reports the Dolphins wanted a first and more for Waddle. Teams weren't willing to do that. They weren't really even going for the first. So
they didn't want to trade. It will have to be an offer and blown away.
Yeah, that's where I stood the whole time. It had to start with the one.
To be fair, two things. One, I don't think it were you or Bobby Finstock that say over and over 1.5 trades, and I said I took the under. You know, sometimes we tell a lot of trades that usually don't happen. That's one.
Yeah.
And it was reported so many times that either Phillips or Chubb will be traded. There weren't too many reports about both being traded. The fans wanted both traded, but the media, the reports were usually either one of the two were going to be traded. Until last week, you know, things started to change because the expectation was going to be that Chubb was going to be the one who's moved. Yeah. And when Phillips was traded, the things changed. But every report until a couple of days ago was either one of those two were going to be traded. So if that happens, that goes by exactly what the reports were. So it is what it is.
So now that we know what the team looks like going forward, what do we think about the Bills game?
That's
well,
easy.
Let me just say what. Let me just say.
I forgot we play Sunday.
Go ahead. Oh, the Bill. Go ahead, Cap. Bills game. I forgot we. That's true.
No, I completely forgot we played them, man. I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's that's going to be a weird vibe in that game because of all the things going. It's just different. It's just the team. Once you trade again, they didn't sell off, right? So like they didn't sell a bunch of guys off like I thought they would, and it would have made it a little more awkward. But Phillips is probably the only guy that they could get good value for. I think that's what probably tells you that, you know. But Adam Schefter said, despite getting calls for Jaylen Waddle and Bradley Chubb, Dolphins did not make another deal before the deadline and opted to hold on to both. So it looks like the Dolphins stand pat, and their only move was Jalen Phillips. It's probably the only one that we looked at that trade. We go, okay, that's fair value. We like it. That's fine. They probably didn't get that for any other player.
And Phillips is the one who doesn't have a contract after this season.
True. So so teams and we converted his money. It worked out for both teams. They only picked up one. It was basically a risk-free move for the Eagles. They didn't have to pay much, and you know we kind of maneuvered it with us converting to give us some cap relief. So it worked out for both teams, and we got a third-round pick. So I think that worked out. Remember, it takes two teams to tango. It's got to make sense for both teams, not just the Dolphins, right?
And if the Dolphins trade Chubb to the 49ers for a 7th-round pick, we'll be grilling everybody for doing that. Yeah. So, and the 49ers knew that we wanted to trade, so the offer could have been low. And the Dolphins said, you got to
have bodies to rush the passer. Chubb has a concussion. You know what I mean? That's another thing. I've been saying that as much. They still got to feel the team, but, you know, it does take. It's a little disappointing, but I can tell you, I had a blast on this stream. I can't thank everybody who joined us. Over 700 people through this whole 4-hour episode. We broke it down all day. We started off with me and Lo-Fi. We had Bobby come in. We had Anthony. Who am I missing? Cap, Sammy, Kadeem from Go Time. Everybody in the chat.
Yeah, Kadeem was here.
Yeah, Kadeem was here. I can't thank you guys enough. I guess we'll do this again next year. The trade deadline frenzy. It was fun. It's
What was it? Kadeem said pickle face.
Pickle face. Yes. Let's get everybody's final thoughts here. Now that the deadline's over, we didn't make any moves. Final thoughts. We'll start with you, Sammy.
Well, if they had announced the Phillips trade today, we would be praising the Dolphins. But since we rose our expectations, we expected more. Is still a disappointment. I cannot discuss whenever I say this is disappointed, but they got fair value for Phillips. I think they did good over there. The Chubb thing, the only one left was the 49ers because the other were the Cowboys. The Cowboys already made a commitment, so they were out on Chubb. The Cowboys were out on Fitzpatrick. So that was right for the Dolphins. The market, like Tua says, was the market is the market. So no idea if the 49ers were offering something low, but to be fair, the Dolphins traded Chubb for a 7th-round pick. We would be green the Dolphins for doing so. So they're still under contract. It's going to be a long off season. The Dolphins can make some moves. Probably pretty confident they're going to trade Fitzpatrick after the season. Chop, maybe restructure and bring him back, or either trade him or cut him. So they have options. So we have to wait and see.
Lo-Fi.
Yeah, extremely disappointed. Obviously, just added to the list of failures of this organization. Even the trade that we got, which is, I'll give that one a C, the Phillips trade. We had to pay to get rid of him. It's kind of like a job. You're in sales. Your job's to sell. It's his job to facilitate some trades, give us some assets so we can put as much optimism into the future. He didn't help too much in that regard. So Champ Kelly, like and subscribe, of course, if you want to get Grace's back with us. But I look forward to a bunch of draft talk and a bunch of other things that can create some optimism for the Dolphins fans and all of us in the Finn Faithful podcast. Champ Kelly didn't give me much.
Yeah.
No, yeah, man. I think for the most part, man, just today was a great experience, man. We got more and more growth throughout the Dolphin community, man. Finn's Facebook podcast has been working overtime. Finn's TV, bro, they're doing everything they can to show that they belong in this community, bro. And Sammy's doing a hell of a job right now with his production value, the guests. So, man, you guys right now, for me, this has been the highlight of the year. Watching the fans come together as one to have one common goal when times are hard, bro. And it was good to see the way the fans united Thursday night, even though it was coming to a bad type of scenario, but it showed that we're on the same page. So Sunday, it's going to be interesting to see what happens Sunday.
Let me close. Yeah, and I'll close it here with my final thoughts. I think, listen, the Dolphins didn't make any dumb moves. Sometimes the moves you don't make are the right moves. They obviously didn't get the value, and they held on to the guys they wanted. They made the one trade that was fair. I would have liked to see more. But, again, it takes two to tango. You have to make sense for both sides. It was disappointing. But, again, the rest of the season will play out. We know who's going to be on the roster. There's a lot of questions to be answered, and we got plenty of shows to do that. But I want to thank especially Lo-Fi has been the whole time. I can't keep repeating that he's hung out with me. He's been a champ. Everybody in the chat.
That's the first time I hear him on the stream, too, George. You're lucky. I've never heard him on the stream.
We make things happen here. We make things happen on the Finn's Faithful podcast.
George got me.
That's not the first time I heard that, right, man? George. Anyways, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for sticking it out with us on YouTube or X or whenever. You guys make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit a thumbs up, help support us here. We keep going. We appreciate it. I'm going to eat something. I am about to.
Hey, real quick. Hey, George, real quick before I get off, bro. My phone's about to crap out. Shout out to Sarni, too, bro. Jason Sarni, you've been doing a hell of a job, too, with
He's
George,
gonna
bro.
love that. Sonny's gonna love that.
Yeah, bro. You guys got great chemistry, man. You guys keep doing it, man. I'm out.
All right, thank you. And we're out too, guys. Stay safe. Dolphins didn't make a move, but we've been here with you for the last 4 hours. Thank everybody in the chat. Like, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Stay safe, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Fins up. We're out.
Fins up. Thanks, guys.